Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. It's Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. And coming up on today's live show, we're going to be doing a Week 6 Madden simulation. The Las Vegas Raiders up against the New England Patriots. McDaniel, Ziegler, they get to go up against their old team. And I don't think we're going to have as many roughing the passer calls in today's game. Also, everybody, spam Chuggs down below for being able to hold it down yesterday while my fiance and I went to look at wedding venue. So huge shout out to Chuggs and Rolly. The other things that we're going to be looking and discussing is we're going to be talking about Josh Jacobs. I know, I told some of y'all that, hey, maybe after July 17th, the conversations would change. Fortunately, unfortunately, that is not going to be the case. We're going to get into the latest around Josh, and realistically, I think there's a lot of stories that aren't being told with the Jacobs contract extension. So I'm going to give you guys the truth, the rundown of exactly what happened yesterday and why everything ended up going down the way that it did. And because there's trade rumors around Josh, because he's going to hold out, he's not going to be there at training camp, we're going to talk about the latest trade rumors around the Raiders star running back, some potential destinations, and I have more trade ideas. So my question to every single one of y'all out there right now, was it smart for the Raiders not to extend Jacobs? Type your Y for yes, Ed for no, and everybody welcome in Raider Nation! What's going on? Welcome in. Raiders Report. I saw one of the super chats that came in was like, what is it going to take to get Chuggs on the bio of the Raiders Report?
That's a mouthful.
Yes, in more ways than one. And on top of that,
Giggity.
I'm not the one that controls that. Like, I wish I was the one that controls. We'll talk to the bosses about it. I do think Chuggs did a great job of being able to hold it down yesterday. All right, let's give some shout-outs here to some of the votes that are rolling in. If you're new to the Raiders Report, we're an interactive YouTube channel, so I'm going to ask you a lot of questions on today's show. If you have a super chat like North Sac Native just sent in, we will put you up on screen. And please, feel free to vent. Feel free to talk. I know I wasn't here yesterday, but I watched the live show, and up until the Megalodon boot, I think Chuggs did a great job holding it down, and then it came up. So it was good.
I don't remember anything after the mega boot.
Yeah, when you got done, if anybody gets a second to go watch Chuggs do the mega boot yesterday, it was like you held your breath for 2 minutes. Like you came up and you were just like gasping for air. Yeah. And Marsha was more excited than you, so it was funny, man.
I think it was Martin. Somebody said they timed me at 16.9 seconds.
That's gross. Like, I'm going to do 3 beers here, and I hope I can beat that time. The fact that you did 6, it's insane. But, hey, you don't get a nickname like Jeremy Chuggs for drinking slow. Let's go to North Sac Native. What up, brother? At least we will get some joy from the Madden simulation. Hopefully. I don't know how this game ends up unfolding. I am hoping that the Raiders can take down the New England Patriots in today's sim. I had somebody the other day on social media, they're like, wow, how bored are you and Jeremy to be doing Madden simulations? The answer is, I love my job, and I think these Madden simulations are a lot of fun. On top of that, it's one of those things where if you don't do something for a long time, you get a little bit rusty. And I'm looking at these Madden simulations.
Did you hear that, Danny?
Like the live simulations as well. So once game times get rolling, once the watch parties get going, I'll be like, all right, we already had our preseason and we're ready to rock and roll. So get down in the comments section right now. Give me your one-word reaction to, and for those that do not know, Josh Jacobs' team, they turned down not one but 2 separate offers from the Las Vegas Raiders. When you hear that statement, what's your one-word reaction? Because I'm a very honest person. Like, did Josh Jacobs deserve his money? Yes, absolutely. Was it smart for the Raiders to not go ahead and extend him? I can also make that argument as well. The problem is, I feel like there's way too much hate right now directed towards McDaniels and Ziegler, and that's coming from me when people aren't realizing, well, Jacobs' team had multiple contract extensions offered to him, and they said no. Like, we're going to get into a lot of the stories here, and I do think it's one of those things that has not been covered nearly enough, but it is something that we need to talk about. Like for Adam Schefter to say that Jacobs declined a contract extension, doesn't sound like it was Jacobs, sounds like it was Jacobs' team on Monday. Like, that is a big thing that we're going to talk about. So I want to hear those one-word reactions.
Can you please just lay off McDaniels for a second?
I mean, we see damn, unfortunate, greed down there.
Also, you can get your McDaniels Eats Corn the Long Way t-shirt.
Correct. If anybody says, nah, it was 100% Josh McDaniels' fault, you can go to chatsports.com/corn to get that going. I got details of the offer from Michael. I will get into some of the contract details. I don't have the exact number, and I don't have the guarantees, and that's kind of the big issue. I do know for a fact, though, of how many years was offered to Jacobs, and we're going to get into the latest around him because I do think that there is a major story that is not being told. This was not 100% a Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler problem. This was not 100% on the Raiders' shoulders. It was simply Jacobs and his team felt like that they deserved more money, and they said no, which it's both sides, but both sides can make that decision. So we're going to go through. I'll give you everything that I got, and then you guys can tell me after you watch the video, whose side are you on? Is it more Jacobs' fault, or is it more the Las Vegas Raiders' fault? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Both are at fault. Like, it's not fair to just get mad at one side. Well, it does take two to tango.
And how we were talking about earlier, more than Jacobs, I feel like it's the two sides are Jacobs' team.
Well, I think from what I understand, and again, I've heard a lot of different – I've messaged a lot of people in the last 24 hours, and it sounds like there was a clear disconnect from Jacobs and Jacobs' agent. And we'll talk about what that is exactly, and we'll kind of get into a little bit more. I don't want to give away exactly what my whole show is, but you're going to finish today's show, and you're going to be like, man, how can somebody be so disconnected from their agent, from their group? It was very surprising once I did get some of the information that I got, and we're going to all talk about it on today's live Raiders Report show. All right, Chuggs, who you got? LV for the Raiders, or you can type your NE for the New England Patriots while the votes are coming in. And I want you to give shout-outs. I believe every single person that comes across today's video, I'm wearing the Long Zahn jersey for a reason. Yesterday, David Zahn balled the hell out. Made sure that the Raiders Report took down Giants now. He did it for the nation. He did it because he loves what we're doing here. He did it because he's a competitive dude. But he also wanted to give his flowers to Chuggs, who's been on this channel now for, over 2 years at this point. You finally got your opportunity to host. And Alex was making fun of me yesterday because I told a few of my friends, we're at wedding venues. We're looking at wedding venues, and I'm in the corner of the room. Bathroom break I even took one time. And I'm like watching you guys do your thing. And, the Raiders Report's my baby. You're the first person to ever host a live show on here without me. Now, don't get me wrong. People have come on the show giggity for 10 to 15 minutes here at a time. But for you guys to be able to hold it down, I was watching a lot. And I had a lot of fun tuning in. And Zahn, man, shout out to you. I also know that I owe not one, but I owe 2 boots because I was not going to let you do another boot. You look like you needed floaties yesterday doing that second boot.
It was heavy at the end of yesterday's show.
Really?
It was. I was weighted down.
Really?
It was like my whole body had one of those bat donuts on it.
Yeah, I tuned in a few times, and I always think of the story my uncle tells me when he got seasick and how everything was just moving. That was you yesterday. Everybody was stationary, and your boat was you were rocking and rolling.
If the boat's a rocking, don't come a knocking.
All right, y'all. So this one goes out to David Zahn, and if you could, get your score predictions in. Raiders, Patriots. Chuggs, explain the deal.
As always, throughout this whole Madden simulation, the deal is, if you super chat the score prediction correctly, any super chat, we'll do a beer bong. If you send over $50 with the correct score prediction, we'll do a beer boot. So $2, $5, $10, whatever you want to do. If you can predict the correct score and send it in with a super chat, that's a beer bong. We've had a couple winners so far. We've had to do some beer bongs. First week, we had a beer boot from Mount Raidamore member Patrick B. Can we get another one done today? That was a great time, Mitch. Great time.
I appreciate that. I drank some coffee before I started the show. Wake me up a little bit. That might have been a bad choice. I feel like I had heartburn. I never get heartburn. That was, we're already off to an interesting start, though. Ooh. Also, man, we got 430 people tuned into the Raiders Report.
Only 77 likes?
Queen Sarah Otto, Matthew Yoakum, Zalesbo. Tell people, Vincenzo, come on. Now, we've had a live show. We've been doing 3 live shows a week. We are starting Tuesdays during July a little bit earlier because of the Madden simulations. Yeah. The shows, they extend very, very long, and with some of the other team members here, I don't want to keep them too late. But, I mean, come on. We've been hanging out. We've been getting kind of creative. Sorry, I just got some update here. Oh. All right, no, we're good. It's an NFL update. And we've been getting creative with some shows. However, for people, this is where what's a good way to put it? There are the diehard fans that watch May, June, and July. And now you're going to get some more people sprinkle in from time to time because the NFL season is about to ramp up. So for the casual people that watch the show, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Ken Kenyon says, I'm here every show. And I appreciate that. It does look like that. It looks just like that, only a little bit more yellow. Jaime, what up, my man? We got Israel Davis, Venom Sosa, Thugador Strawberry, Matthew Yoakum. Appreciate everyone. Now, Robert Jansen says 31-24 score prediction there.
I think we might be in the clear for the beer bong or beer boot at the end of the show. We haven't had any score predictions yet.
Ken, appreciate that, my man. Refined Zeus, going to go with LV. Watch all the time from the big Valboski. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Venom Sosa, 17-10 Raiders. North Sac native. So far today's MVP, 69-20. Also, I should mention this. On Thursday, I talked to Zahn, and Zahn, like I said, since he balled out, we're going to be doing a Raiders Report jersey giveaway on Thursday's show. So if you want a chance to win your own personal Raiders Report jersey, I'm repping Long Zahn today. And you will have the opportunity Thursday, so stay tuned on that for our Week 7 game. Alan Spice going to say 30-28 win, 27-21 from Eric M. Primo, 17-14 Raiders. What up, Rebel Montana? I think Rebel said, shit. You spoke too soon. You can't, with Patrick B in the chat, you can never jinx it. This man is unbelievable.
Oh, this one's rolling in from Mount Raidermore member, Patrick B.
Dude, 27-24 Raiders win from Patrick B. Yikes. With these Madden games, they feel like that they're always in that realm. In that realm. Then we got the one Hat Man. He said 20-17 Vegas on a last-second field goal. That's literally how our Packers game ended. 20-17 on a last-second field goal.
That was a great game.
That game was the most gut-wrenching roller coaster Raiders Madden sim game that I have ever watched in my entire time.
Go Chandler!
Patrick B, it was coming either way. That's what she said.
Gerald said turn penalties off. We had no penalties the first two games.
Yeah, we turned the penalties off and got complaints that there weren't enough penalties. So then we turned penalties on, and I don't know why. Again, I don't play video games all that often. And then we turned penalties on, and the only penalty that got thrown was roughing the passer. So the penalties are still on. We tried something new. I don't know what it looks like.
There's the game sliders, right?
Okay.
So it was off, or no, it wasn't off. Everything was at 50.
Okay.
And then I turned everything up to 60. But the only thing they called was the roughing the passer.
Yeah.
So I turned the roughing the passer back down to 50. We'll see how it goes.
I have no idea. As soon as I see a flag out on the field, though, nothing but RTPs. It's insane. The worst part about the roughing the passer call is you never see the quarterback get hit.
No,
it's like balls thrown, flags out. Oh, Christ.
Of course, roughing the passer.
All right, y'all, coming up live here. Hang on, I got a burp. Yep. Coming up live here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into the latest on Josh Jacobs, and I'm going to give you all the information I have, the truth in terms of why Jacobs and the Raiders did not agree to a contract extension. Both of them are to blame. Then we got some Jacobs trade ideas. This is more of just a segment that I'm going to run through because anytime that we look at trade rumors, anytime that we talk about a topic, how can you go with that extra analysis? So the extra analysis is going to be Josh Jacobs doesn't want to sign the franchise tag. he could potentially get traded. Who are teams that are interested in trading for him, / what are some trade ideas that you could look at? If you have a question or comment you want to get on the show, it's hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat, and then a Raiders New England Week 6 simulation. Is the game on the road in New England?
Oh, no.
I was going to say, it's definitely in Vegas.
Yeah, it's in
You
Vegas.
got me nervous for a second, and I was like, dude, everything I did for like post-prod stuff, I'm like, dang it.
No, it's in Vegas.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. I was getting worried.
I just messed up the
All good.
that one graphic.
All good. I just wanted to hear you say I messed up. 30-27, Raiders get the win from Eric. It's another good score prediction, and he's also repping his Longs On jersey.
Hey.
Eric, I'll make you a deal, because I like making deals, okay? I'm a deal maker, Jeremy. Eric's rocking 75 Longs On, and Eric watches this show all the time. Eric, $100 super chat, and I'll do a boot for you. What do you think? Fair deal? He's rocking the Zon. I got my Longs on. Eric, that's the deal that I'm going to present to you. We'll see what ends up going down. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, buddy.
Eric, that's the deal on the table. We got 121 likes. Spam Eric down in the chat. And Robert Jansen's asking the $1 million question. Yeah, that's, I guess the answer is yeah. Yeah, the answer would be yes, Eric. All right, y'all, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Tano Raiders says 23-16 Raiders. Plunkett not on the Hall of Fame list. Hey, man, I don't understand the Hall of Fame list a lot of times. I actually try not to get too involved in it because I don't understand a lot of the times what voters do, what they look at, what they don't look at. And I also wasn't around all those days, or back in the old days, if you will. I'm a big person. I don't like to look at highlights. I'm not a big person in terms of just watching a game or two. I want to be able to sit down and literally digest every single game, see the ebbs and the flows, how the season went, because to me, that also can dictate if you're a Hall of Fame caliber player or not. Dano, the picture I love, but we got to get the tattoo of the Raiders report, just win, baby. But that's got to be the new picture that we get up on screen. That's what we got to do. Did you enjoy National Tattoo Day yesterday? I didn't know yesterday was National Tattoo Day. Yeah, the only other, my next tattoos that I know I'm going to get 1957 tattooed on my ring finger. That's something that I've been wanting to get done for a very long time. I'm going to get an angel on my forearm. I want to get a eyeball mountain of Mount Mitchell because that's my namesake. And then we'll go from there on out. But those are going to be my next 3 tattoos that I end up getting. The shield I'm still working on because I want my leg. My leg will be my next thing. And I want to do that Raiders related. I also have a wicked scar on my thigh, and I think that's where the shield's going to go. Should I do the just win, baby? That's an interest. My problem is, and I say this, and a guy already got the tattoo, so much things can change. Like, I thought about getting the Chucky head. Because to me, when I think of the Chucky head, I don't think of Gruden. I think of the first start of the Raiders report. And now, unfortunately, I have a new logo. So I always get worried about logos where, like, the Raiders shield, that'll always be there. Yeah. Oh, the emails. The emails. Oh, boy. Also, I've had a lot of people say, are we starting Zamir White today and over Josh Jacobs? My question to you would have been this. Should we have put Josh Jacobs on the bench and Zamir White starting in the game? Give me a Y for yes, or I want you to type your N for no. I mean, the amount of people that have said it, I had Wild One. He messaged me today in our Mount Raidermore group chat that said, yo, you got to bench Jacobs and put in Zamir White. What do you guys think? Is that what you would do? Because that means Josh isn't playing. I mean, there was a lot of yeses. A lot of yeses. Interesting. Heat Blaze says no. We Out Here Entertainment says yes. Micah Hyde says 100. Can we switch out Jimmy G for number 4? In the future, we could. However, if Garoppolo's healthy, he's not getting switched out. That's silly. Hell no from the Hat Man. Eric M, yes. Modified, no. I'll kind of tell you what I think on this whole idea coming up here in a little bit on the Raiders Report. I like that. I like it. All right, let me get a sip of water here, and then we're going to get into the latest here around Josh Jacobs. All right, y'all ready? If you're ready to get this show rolling, start spamming Raiders down in the comments. I want to be able to hear you all the way here from Dallas, Texas. Spam those Raiders. Coming up, the latest here on Josh Jacobs. Join the Raiders Report family and hit that subscribe button. I want to be your go-to spot for all things Raiders. News, rumors, watch parties, whatever it is. When you think of Raiders, I want you to come here to the Raiders Report. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and if you don't enjoy today's video, you never have to come back, though it is 100% for free. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. It's Mitchell Renz here, not Jeremy Chuggs, from Chat Sports, and we're going to be breaking down the latest on Josh Jacobs because there's a lot to talk about. I wouldn't be able to do today's show if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor, Manscaped. So use code Raiders at manscaped.com. Link's going to be available for you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's show if you want to get your hands on some of the best male grooming products out there. So what exactly are we talking about today? To me, this is going to be everything there is to possibly know about the Josh Jacobs situation from yesterday. Why? Because I think there's a lot of truth that is not being discussed in the media. There's a lot of truth that is not being discussed on social media. Like the amount of things that are being missed right now, because I'm going to be point blank honest with you. The people that are to blame for Jacobs not getting a contract agreement done is not only Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, but Josh Jacobs deserves some blame as well. And you're going to agree after you watch this show. So the latest here on our star running back is, bottom line, the Raiders didn't extend Jacobs yesterday. They had until 4 p.m. Eastern time to get that deal done. And it sounded like that there was a pretty good chance, or at least it was ramping up, that a deal potentially would have gotten done. Now what we're looking at is he's going to have to play on the franchise tag, or he can decide to hold out. You already know that he's not going to be there at training camp. I would not anticipate him to be there for August at all. Maybe he decides to show up for week 1. It's going to be something that we discuss here, because before the deadline, Jacob said that he did not want to play on the franchise tag. Well, now that's his option. Franchise tag, hold out, or I guess he could end up demanding a trade. Before we get into the truth around all this kind of stuff and everything that you guys need to know, I want y'all to show some love to Jeremy, because yesterday was the very first day since I started this YouTube channel, which we've had over 2,500 videos here, that somebody, not named Mitchell Renz, hosted a live show. So if you guys could, go show Chuggs some love on Twitter. Give him a follow. DM him thank you for being able to hold it down yesterday. Him and Roy did an amazing job covering Josh Jacobs' breaking news. You can find his Twitter down in the comments, down in the description. He's also at Jeremy Chuggs. So coming up here is everything that you need to know around Jacobs, because I'm a Raiders holic, right? Like, I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I go on Reddit. I go on Google. Wherever there is Raiders content, YouTube, I am looking to see what people say. And the common thing that I'm seeing is the entire story is not being told to me. And my job here is to be able to paint that picture so you guys, when you tune into the Raiders Report, know the entire picture of everything that went down yesterday. So the first thing that I think is important to understand is the Raiders and Jacobs were close to getting a deal done. Like, they were. And anytime that you are close to getting a deal done, that means that certain sides were able to get to at least a close enough spot to be like, all right, we might be able to make this work. And when you hear that, that light bulb needs to go off in your mind and say, well, McDaniels and Ziegler, they did at least try. And what's the biggest indicator to me that they did try? The fact that Josh Jacobs and Max Crosby were together in a car outside of the Raiders team facility. The only reason why you drive to the team facility is if you believe that your team and the Las Vegas Raiders are going to end up getting a deal done. From what I understand, Jacobs was ready to sign a deal. He drove, I don't know if I shouldn't say he drove. He was with Crosby in a car outside of the facility, and he was there ready to sign the dotted line. Because if you followed this show before, everything that I heard and everything that I reported was that they were confident that a deal was going to get done. Why did that deal not get done? The sides couldn't agree on a few things. So the reason why he went there is because they were. Jacobs was confident and Crosby was confident that a deal was going to end up getting done. And the reason why Max Crosby is such an important name to be featured in this and to be reported as being there with Jacobs is Max Crosby is the face of the Raiders. It's not Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not Josh Jacobs. It's not Devontae Adams. The face of your franchise, the most important player on your roster, a player who was drafted in 2019 with Jacobs, he was there with him. And Crosby also wanted an agreement to be reached from what I understand. The next thing that you absolutely positively need to know is, and this is the part that I think is starting to get overshadowed, Jacobs' team, Jacobs' agent, they turned down at least 2 deals. At least 2 deals. Because right now what it sounds like for people who aren't following the stories as well as they should, they don't realize that the Raiders offered Jacobs a deal. They offered Jacobs at least 2 contract extensions, and Jacobs and his team, both of those times, said no. The reason why there's a little bit of disconnect is because why is Jacobs showing up to the team facility ready to sign a deal, but his team is not ready to get a deal done? That's a little bit weird to me. Like, there's some sort of disconnect in that regard, and we're going to continue to get into everything that there is to know about this whole Josh Jacobs situation. But remember, today's show is presented by Manscaped, and if you haven't already, it's 20% off. Make sure that you use promo code Raiders at manscaped.com to save on all their awesome male grooming products out there. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about here is we're going to look at the beard hedger, because first impressions are everything. When you walk into a room, guess what? People are going to look at you. And self-care is an extremely important thing the last time I checked. If anybody goes on a date, I hope that you trim up your beard like a pro. And Manscaped is absolutely going to help you do that. And if you're like, Mitch, well, how do I elevate my beard game? Manscaped has all the right tools in order to do that. If you think I have a halfway decent beard, guess what? I use the beard hedger. For the sleekest version of myself, Manscaped has me covered from head to toe, starting with their brand new beard hedge trimmer. With 1 guard and 20 adjustable lengths, this device is the perfect travel companion to take care of your mane wherever you are. So if I'm going to Las Vegas, or if I was in Austin, Texas this past weekend, guess what? I like convenience. I like something that I can have in a good box, giggity, and I can take it with me, and I have the ability to maintain my beard. I tell you guys all the time how clean my balls are, right? And some of you are probably sick and tired of hearing about my balls. So let's talk about my beard. I take a lot of pride in the way that I look. If you look good, you're going to feel good. And I think it's time for some of y'all to start checking out some of Manscaped's products, especially from the belly button up. Go to manscaped.com, 20% off, and you're also going to get free shipping when you use code Raiders. So let's continue to talk here about Josh, because the Raiders offered his first extension on June 8th. That was a Saturday. I got that word from a good source. So the Raiders first started having these contract talks with Jacobs on the 8th. I'll 100% tell you this, or not June 8th. It's actually July 8th. That's on me. It was July 8th on Saturday, and when you hear something like that, okay, that means that they need to really ramp up the process a little bit quicker. Adam Schefter reported, maybe you've heard of him, that Jacobs' team turned down a deal on Monday, July 17th. Then also, the fact that the first extension offered was July 8th. The second offer, from what I understand, was at least July 17th. There could have been another deal offered in there in between to have some sort of negotiations. I am a little bit frustrated that the Raiders waited until July 8th to get that first extension on the table, and I'm also a little bit disappointed in maybe them not being able to come to agreements on a deal, especially when you hear some of the things out there. Now, one of the tweets that I saw was from Kenny King, shout out to him, and talking about resetting the running back market, okay? It was never expected that the Raiders and Jacobs were ever going to reset the market. But as you can see here, Jacobs tweeted, he said, "We never retried to reset the market." And when you hear reset the market for the running back position, Chris McCaffrey right now makes the most money per year on his deal at $16 million. The next closest is Alvin Kamara. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, they're at $10.1 million on that franchise tag. So when I hear resetting the market, I'm thinking $16 million per year at least. Jacobs is saying that's not true, which then King Don over here gets called out, and Jacobs says, wrong, stop making shit up, because if you wanted 16 mil, that's slightly below a market reset. That's technically not true. So Jacobs is telling you it's not 16 mil. Cool. So then Kenny King comes back and he says, if it's not the money, it's the security. And that's what Jacobs is saying. So he's saying that the money was not the reason why a deal was not reached. It was security. So when I say, okay, security, not the money, that screams to me the guaranteed dollars. And when I know how long the extension that was offered to Jacobs was a 3-year, my source told me that it was a 3-year deal. At least 2 contract extensions that the Raiders put in front of Jacobs and his team was a 3-year extension. However, I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't know the amount of money that was offered, and I don't know the guarantees in total that were offered. So when I hear that Jacobs wanted security, I instantly think that the guaranteed money must not have been enough. And that is definitely an important thing to look at, considering the fact of the franchise tag is fully guaranteed. So this is my statement right now, and maybe it comes out that we get to see exactly what the contract was offered. I have said on the show before that I would have offered Jacobs a 3-year, $38.4 million contract with $22.2 million guaranteed. I then talked about it on another show where I heard from a source that Jacobs apparently was looking in that $40 million range, somewhere around $30 million in guarantees, which not a full market reset, but it is a little bit more than what the Raiders want to negotiate. I'm going to tell you this straight up. McDaniels and Ziegler are getting a lot of heat, and I am usually the very first person to light that flame underneath both of those guys, because so far, what they have done to this Raiders team, organization, fan base, is definitely not what they were hired to do. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Las Vegas Raiders offer Josh Jacobs $22.2 million in guaranteed money on a 3-year contract extension, then I am going to be placing a lot more blame on Jacobs, on Jacobs' team, for not getting a deal done. Because in today's day and age, that type of contract for a running back is a deal that you should take. And if you want to be a part of this team, if you want to be a part of this build that the Raiders are trying to doing in and off season, that you said that you would be okay playing on the franchise tag, guess what? That is more blame on you. And that is something that I need to be able to find out, what were the guarantees offered by the Las Vegas Raiders. So now it's your opportunity here to go down in the comments and give me your thoughts, because that's what we do here. What is your one-word reaction to hear that Josh Jacobs turned down 2 separate offers from LV? And I don't know if I should say Josh Jacobs turned it down, because from what I understand, Jacobs wanted to sign a deal. It almost sounds like Jacobs' agent was the one that said, it's a no deal for me. So what is your one-word reaction to hearing that Jacobs' team turned down not 1, but 2 separate offers from Las Vegas that had at least 3 years tacked to a contract extension? Let's go to another thing that every single person needs to know. He will hold out until September. He's not going to be at training camp, so don't even think about that happening. Veterans report to training camp July 25th. He's also not going to be there in the preseason whatsoever. And I say he's going to hold out until September. Really, probably what I should have said is he's definitely going to hold out until August 29th. This is the next important date for Jacobs. And I don't know personally what he's going to do. I'm not trying to speak for Josh. But in terms of me doing this as long as I have, and I've been covering this Raiders team very closely, when you consider the fact of Ziegler and McDaniels, think about last offseason. They gave a monster contract extension to Derek Carr. Let's face it, that turned out to be a failure. They gave a monster contract extension to Darren Waller, making him the highest paid tight end in the NFL. That did not work either. They gave a contract extension to Hunter Renfrow last year, 2 years, $32 million. I would say so far that they regret that contract extension. They gave one to Max Crosby. They gave Devontae Adams a big deal. The Chandler Jones deal that they gave did not quite work out. So this offseason, which we saw in free agency, the Raiders were afraid to spend big on a player because last offseason they felt like they got bit in the butt. So when it comes to the 53-man roster, and you have to go from your roster cut-down date from 90 all the way down to 53. And technically, with David Agoa, the Raiders international pathway player, you can technically have 54 players on the Raiders roster this year. This organization is going to want to know from Josh on August 29th, hey, we got to cut down right now. And I don't want to take away jobs from people who have been busting their hump in July and in August. Can I count on you to be there week one? I actually think if Jacobs doesn't give them a solid answer in terms of, can you rely on somebody who was a team captain for you last season to be on your roster come August 29th? That's where this is really going to get interesting for me. I think trades are absolutely going to be on the table. I think Josh could demand a trade. I think McDaniels and Ziegler would be like, we don't want a locker room cancer here during the season when we're trying to build something. So put August 29th in your calendar right now because this is very important when it comes to Josh Jacobs. Let's go to the next thing here. He's going to play on the franchise tag. I know I talk a lot about trade rumors. I know Jacobs is obviously upset. He posted on his Instagram story today that you should always bet on yourself. And guess what? Whatever you're doing in life, you should 110% always bet on yourself. You know why? Because nobody's going to believe in you a lot of the times the way that you do. So I get that. But Jacobs also has to look at himself in the mirror and say, you know what? This isn't a personal attack against me. This is just the running back market. The fact that both Jacobs and Saquon Barkley did not get a deal yesterday speaks volumes. The fact that a running back of Austin Eckler's caliber said, hey, I wanted to be traded, and it was crickets. Jacobs has to realize right now in this current market at $10.1 million that there is not going to be a team out there that is going to make that type of deal for him. And Jacobs needs to realize that the running back market is low, and he needs to take his guaranteed money because it's the best deal that he's going to get. And it's not a shot at Jacobs. Is it unfair? Yes. Do I think all the running backs in the NFL need to get together and figure something out to go forward? Yes. It does sound like that all the running backs in the league have a little text messaging thing going on and that they're talking to each other. It should be that way. But I also know the way that Ziegler and McDaniels think, okay? And all they're looking at is this year right now, because if they stink in 2023, it's going to be even more difficult for them to say, hey, we deserve a job in 2024. So the way that I was told, the way that the Raiders were looking at this whole Jacobs contract situation was not so much a full 3 years. They were looking at it for this year in terms of what Josh was making in terms of cap numbers by running backs. So when you look at NFL running back cap numbers this upcoming season, Derrick Henry's number one at $16.4 million. Nick Chubb is $14.9. And then Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard are third for how much money counts against the cap by their team. So McDaniels and Ziegler are probably trying to tell Jacobs, hey, you're technically the third highest paid running back in terms of cap numbers this upcoming season. When you look at some of the other contracts out there, like Mixon technically makes more, Aaron Jones technically makes more, Alvin Kamara technically makes more, Christian McCaffrey's got $12 million in cash. Those players will make more money in cash, but for the Raiders, who historically sounds like they don't have as much cash because of Mark Davis, they have to rely on the cap. And when you got over $30 million in dead cap, I would say this was one of the biggest selling points that McDaniels and Ziegler were trying to sell to Jacobs and saying, hey, technically you're going to make the third most money in terms of cap number this upcoming season. So my next question is this, because my answer is going to be coming up here after this YouTube ad break. Will this be Jacobs' final season with the Raiders? I want you to type your Y for yes, or I want you to go down to the comments right now and type your N for no. My answer is this is going to be 2023 is going to be the final season with Josh Jacobs and the Las Vegas Raiders. And both parties are going to want to have a happy divorce. I'm not going to say it's going to get ugly the way that Derek Carr and the Raiders divorce happened, because that one was really, really ugly. This is going to be a mutual split. And the reason why that I say that is because the Raiders are, I shouldn't say the Raiders, McDaniels and Ziegler have a blueprint where you don't give a running back that fifth-year extension. For everybody out there saying, oh, the Raiders should have given Jacobs his fifth-year extension, we wouldn't be in this spot now, you would be in the exact same freaking spot. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything. So let's just end that right away. The second part of it is this. The Raiders will not place another franchise tag on Jacobs at $12.1 million. They won't do it. They will rather hand the keys to Zamir White. They would rather look to go a cheaper running back market way. That's the way that their mindset works, and they have stuck to that blueprint. Decline the fifth-year option, place the franchise tag on Jacobs, and then it's done. Then you can go draft another running back or go with your young guy. And then for Josh, he's not going to want to do this all over again. He's saying to himself, man, I just had 2,000 total yards, and you still won't pay me? He's going to go into next offseason and say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this team anymore after this year, and unless they win a Super Bowl, then this can totally change. But to me, I think Jacobs is going to want to go into offseason next year. He's going to say thank you to the Raiders organization for drafting him. He's going to be a Raider for life, but he's going to put his best foot forward in trying to get that bag, because after this offseason, there is no way he thinks that him getting a bag is going to be with the Las Vegas Raiders. So in conclusion, and this is very important, both the Raiders and Josh Jacobs' team are responsible for not getting a deal done. Say that again with me, because there is way too much blame on Ziegler and McDaniels right now when it is not warranted. Jacobs and his team, they deserve blame too. When you're a running back in today's market and you tell your organization that you are willing to play on the franchise tag, and your team places the franchise tag on you, and then a few months go by, and now you're like, well, I don't want to play on the tag because you didn't build a strong enough team. If you're a head coach and you're a general manager, you want somebody that's going to buy in. And that's exactly what McDaniels and Ziegler do. They will sell it is team first over player. And Jacobs right now is proving that he wants to be player over team. I don't necessarily blame him for wanting to get his bag, but at the same time, it makes sense for Jacobs to want to get paid, and it makes sense for the Raiders to not want to pay him because they are not a Super Bowl caliber team right now, coming off a year after a 6-11 win. So let's get one thing very clear. The Josh Jacobs contract extension, it is Josh Jacobs' fault, and it is the Las Vegas Raiders' fault. Both parties are at fault for that deal not getting done. All right, y'all, who do you dislike more, Josh McDaniels or Bill Belichick? Both head coaches coaching today in our Madden sim, though technically, I actually just found this out today, technically, the only head coach in the NFL that's not in Madden is Bill Belichick. I never knew that, which I thought it was weird. Only head coach not in Madden is Bill Belichick. So who do you dislike more, Josh McDaniels or Bill Belichick? Get those votes in. Chuggs, give some shout-outs here while we can. And if you haven't already, hit that like button right now here on
I'm going to give some shout-outs for the JMs.
For the JMs?
For the JMs.
Yikes.
All right, let's go. Juan Hernandez, Ruben, Gerald Davis, Mario, Uribe, Terrell, let's see, who else? Lord Only Dan, C-Hop, Amador, Ron. Who else doesn't like Sauceman 805s, Lenny Danger, Zeno Sayin, Scott Raiders. I would say it's about 50-50 though. There's some BBs in there. Michael Hyde.
It's very split.
Refined Zeus, says Bill Belichick. King Sanchez, Jaime Alvarado, Vincenzo. They're all saying BB. Robert Voth.
Why isn't Belichick in Madden again? It's up with the Players Association or something like that?
I don't know why or how this is even a thing, but Bill Belichick, there's an NFL Players Association.
Yep.
There's also an NFL Coaches Association.
Yep.
He's the only head coach that is not a member of the NFL Head Coaches Association.
Yep.
The NFL Head Coaches Association is the one who does the deal with EA Sports and Madden.
Yep.
So if you're not in the Coaches Association, you're not a part of the deal to get into Madden.
I mean, he probably doesn't give a shit. I mean, he's the first guy. He's like,
Queen Sarah said because he cheats.
Probably. That's probably a good reason why. All right, PG spamming the McDaniels as well.
I've always wondered it because, the past couple of years, I really did notice that I was like, who do they have on the sidelines? That's not Bill Belichick. And I looked it up, and I talked with one of our hosts, Tyler Jones, and he was like, Bill Belichick, not a member of the NFL Coaching Association.
Yeah, it's
weird.
Kind of wild. I did not know that. I learned something new today.
Which he's the only one. Could you imagine if every single player is a part of the NFL Players Association except Jimmy G? You'd be like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Right? I mean, it's
be a team player.
Yeah. Everybody but Patrick Mahomes. You're playing Madden, and it's just like, some generic guy for the Chiefs, but he balls out.
Will Johnson.
Will Johnson. I don't know if he will or not. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into some Josh Jacobs trade rumors because, well, everything that we just discussed, if it does get ugly like it's reported, like it could potentially end up happening, it wouldn't surprise me if Jacobs demanded a trade. It wouldn't surprise me if McDaniels and Ziegler don't want to have that headache off the field. And hell, maybe they could trade him. So I got a little bit weird on this next segment. I got some trade destinations, some wild trade ideas, and that's what you're going to end up seeing here next. However, if you do end up sending in a super chat, like I think we got one from Hoffy.
Oh, we actually did get a couple. Do you want to go through those?
Yeah, let's go through some super chats real quick.
Also, before we start, we've had over 700 people watching for the last 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
And we still only have 215 likes.
Not as awesome. So if you want to get those questions, comments on the show, it's hashtag Raiders for Super Chat. And if you don't like the video, chances are you eat corn the long way. Let's go to Stephen Williams. Amazing job yesterday, Chuggs. LV 20 to 14. So this is a double whammy. This is a good job to Chuggs. And on top of that, got a score prediction in. If you guys haven't already, get your votes in right now for Chuggs' grade yesterday. A, B, C, D, or F. Let's go to Las Vegas Raiders latest. Chat Sports has the best content on the Raiders. Mitch inspired me, helped grow my channel. Thank you, Raider Nation. Just win, baby, at Las Vegas Raiders latest. I mean, I think anybody at the end of the day, if they want to try to make their own YouTube show, want to try to make their own podcast, I started podcasting talking about sports because to me it was my own therapy session. Like, honestly, it was nice to be able to talk sports. And then once you realize, like, oh, shit, there's a few people that actually listen to you. And the more and more the show grows, the more you get to meet up with really amazing people that share similar experiences. So the fact that if you think that we helped you inspire making your own channel, that's amazing. And I'll make you a deal. Once you hit 1,000 subs, I'll join the show and we'll do something live together and we'll get it up and popping. Sound good? Hopefully. Tano Raider, he did it. The new pick, the Raiders Report tattoo. I love it. Pelissero reported that under the collective bargaining agreement, then JJ can still sign a modified one-year contract. That is 100% true. So it has a lot more incentives in it, which this is a very intriguing thing around it. Once I saw Pelissero report it, I did a little bit more research on it. However, though, the guarantees is where it gets a little bit cloudy. I'm not as contract savvy as I am just talking about the Raiders. So I'll do a little bit more homework on this modified one-year contract. But from what I understand, Jacobs does take a little bit more risk. However, he does have a better chance to have higher incentives, which I do think is important because today on Instagram, he posted, always bet on yourself. So definitely an interesting thing, Tano, and I'll do a better job the next time I'm live to get more information on that modified 1 year. What up, Hoffy? Players can ask for the bag, but they should expect a trade at the same time. I'm sure someone like the Texans would overpay. They need to sell tickets somehow. I actually don't think the Texans are an interesting team. They have Dameon Pierce, who they like.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacobs would fit well with what they're doing.
And they just signed Devin Singletary this offseason. So they have two running backs that they're already paying on the roster. And then kind of like you mentioned in the last show, how many teams do you know that are trying to trade for running backs right now that are going to pay them?
And that's like the problem is not as much trading, right? Like, how many teams are not only going to give up draft capital?
Every team wants Josh Jacobs on
Correct.
their team.
I believe if you asked every NFL team right now, would you give up a second-round pick for Jacobs? I think most teams would say yes.
Austin
the
Eckler.
problem, though, is not many teams want to give up that draft capital and then also pay him, because if you're going to trade for Jacobs, you're making him the highest-paid running back in the NFL.
Austin Eckler, maybe not as good of a pure running back than Josh Jacobs, a really, really good threat at the running back position. Demanded a trade this offseason.
Yep.
Tested out the market. Nobody really had interest.
I mean, nobody had interest. And the reason why a name like Eckler is very intriguing is because I would say the next best pass-catching running back in the NFL outside of Christian McCaffrey, you could say Alvin Kamara is up there too. Those two guys make the most money per year on their contract, is Eckler. And it was crickets nobody was interested in him, which, you know, a little bit maybe unfair at times, but man, it's wild. Andrew, this trade deadline could get wild, potentially featuring Aaron Donald and Davante Adams. I will say, ever since the Davante Adams contract restructure, I do think that a potential Adams trade is more likely now. For the trade deadline, which I believe is November 1st, the Raiders would have to have like 2 wins at that time. Like, they would have to be abysmal. And I will say this, though. If the Raiders are like top 5 potential pick in the NFL draft bad, I think Jacobs is gone. I could see them moving on from Davante Adams. The only player that the Raiders would not trade away is Max Crosby. Outside of that, if the Raiders are, like I said, top 5 bad, I think anything is possible because of the contract restructure to Davante Adams, which now makes his deal a lot more easy to move on and trade in case things do end up going south. Let's go to Brandon Jasper.
Woo!
Oh, man, if this score is correct, that is a boot for Mr. Jasper. Win 28-17. Ziegler and McClown just move up to number 1 on my list. Also, locals, and locals for the best content, personal interaction, weekly pick'ems, seasonal, more live shows, and JJ should've got paid. I think Jacobs definitely deserved to get paid, but I do think it was smart for the Raiders to not bend the knee in a sense and overpay him. It does sound like they offered him a few different contract extensions. It doesn't sound like that he liked them, but overpaying a running back in today's day and age in the NFL, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Now, I've seen here are the past Super Bowl winning teams and how much they pay running backs, and I see all that stuff. I roll my eyes a little bit because it's Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Like, now people are like, Matthew Stafford. Stafford played really well that year, though.
He was amazing that year, and people
Cooper
forget,
Kupp had a hell of a year.
Cooper Kupp, and then that defense with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
I mean, that team was no joke, right? Like, that team was a legitimate roster. However, I get the narrative that running backs maybe aren't nearly as important as what they were at once. We'll go with that. Angel, do you think Jimmy G will play during the preseason? No. I actually had a pretty good source tell me, I want to say last week, that Jimmy Garoppolo is not expected to play at all during the preseason. It is going to be the Aiden O'Connell and Brian Hoyer show, or not Brian Hoyer. Hoyer's also not expected to play in the preseason, I was told. I was told you're only going to see Aiden O'Connell and Chase Garbers. That's it. Which I thought was interesting. I mean, again, I was told when Hoyer ended up signing, and for those that watch the show, we said on the show, Brian Hoyer's going to get signed here to the Raiders, and then it was like a few days later.
He's a Raider.
2 years, $4 million ended up being the number. He was brought in to be that player coach for a young quarterback, and if you haven't checked out my video on Aiden O'Connell, I really think that this team believes that O'Connell is going to be the future of this team because of the Tom Brady connection, because McDaniels, and they have Todd Christensen, the quarterback coach O'Connell's been working with. So from what I understand, it's only going to be Aiden O'Connell and only Chase Garbers in the preseason. It's not expected you're going to see Garoppolo, and it's not expected you're going to see Brian Hoyer, which, I don't know, man. It's interesting, no doubt about it.
Let's get into these Jacobs trade rumors. Let's get into these, Jacobs trade ideas.
Okay.
But first, can we get 300 likes on the video before we start this next segment?
I think
We're
we can
only
do so.
30 likes away. I want to know who are the real ones who are going to like this video to get us to our next segment. If you've already liked the video, throw a like in the comment section so I know who the real ones are.
Seriously. And if you have, go the Buddy Bear route and make an account for both of your cats.
Yes. Dude, yesterday we had other cats on the channel. Harrison Graham got really excited. He's a big cat guy.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Big, dude.
Harry, huge cat guy. Loves him some cats.
I've actually seen Harry go into the bathroom and shit in a litter box.
I have one cat. One. Although, to add fuel to your theory, there have been neighborhood cats that will just end up in our backyard.
See?
We leave food out.
He's
There
a
you
big
go.
cat guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say this. You're either a big cat guy or you're not a cat guy. If you have one cat, if
Growing up, I wasn't because my sister's allergic, but when I met
Harry's
my
like
wife, she had a cat, so it kind of had
Harry's like Snow White with cats. Like they just like he's singing at the window and they're all coming up.
The nice thing about cats, there's a lot of things. Very self-sufficient. Like when you go out of town, you don't need to pay Rolly $300 to watch a show.
I don't pay Rolly $300.
$30 or $0, whatever. You don't have to worry about someone else.
I slip him some big Texas, but that's about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
we got there. Let's get into this Josh Jacobs trade segment.
Real quick, when does week 7?
Thursday.
No game today?
Oh,
We
there-
do.
there's
It's the Patriots today.
Patriots today.
Thursday night football?
What?
Thursday night football. Bears
Oh, so
Raiders.
that's Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So week 6 today.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's get it.
Big game next week. All right, y'all, you ready to get today's show rolling? We're going to talk a little bit more here about Josh Jacobs. So if you guys are ready, start spamming JJ right now down in the comments. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and if your long's on, just, well, looks like a zon, it's probably because you're not keeping it safe and clean down there below. From what I understand, you get rid of the bush, it's going to add an extra inch, and hey, football's a game of inches. Use code Raiders at manscaped.com, and if you can't find it, I'm talking about the link, it's located down in the comments and in the description of today's show. So coming up here on the Raiders Report, we got some Josh Jacobs trade rumors. The silver and black and the star running back did not agree to a contract extension by the deadline of July 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And now there's trade rumors circulating. So one of the things that I like to do here on the show is go into the latest trade rumors around Jacobs. Then we got to talk about the top teams that could potentially make a move. And then you know what? We're going to get a little bit wild here. We're going to let our hair down. We're going to look at some Jacobs trade ideas. So why could Josh potentially be traded? Well, they did come to a contract extension. It's been said, reported, that Jacobs doesn't want to play on the franchise tag. And I talked to a source yesterday that told me a trade, yes, isn't impossible. When you know how upset the running back market is, and I'm talking all the running backs, Jacobs has tweeted out bad business. He has said that it's not just about him, it's for the ones after him. He has said things like, you know, if you're not going to pay me like a hero, something about a villain. Jacobs has been more than, I guess I should say, he's not been afraid to tell you exactly what he feels in regards to not getting the money that he deserves. And on Instagram on Tuesday, he said you should always bet on yourself. I hear doesn't want to play on the franchise tag, potentially could bet on himself. If there's a team out there that's willing to throw him the bag and make a trade for him, I don't think it'd be out of the realm of possibilities there for Jacobs. So the fact that Jacobs is frustrated with the Raiders and the overall running back market in the NFL, I said last week on a show that I was told by a source that, yes, things could get ugly. And anytime you hear that things could get ugly with your running back who was not happy that he played on a fifth-year option, or that he had his fifth-year option declined, and then he had over 2,000 yards, and you're still not willing to pay him, considering the fact that the Raiders last offseason paid Derek Carr an extension, Darren Waller an extension, Hunter Renfrow an extension, and none of those really worked out, I would say. And Jacobs is like, man, what the hell do I have to do in order to get my money? The Raiders want every player to be bought in. And if Jacobs is flat out telling you, I'm not going to be at training camp, don't expect him to be in the preseason as well. And if you got a team captain who was a team captain last season, and he's not 100% bought into what you're selling in Las Vegas, that's going to make your coaching staff upset. Then the number one guy that's been in Jacobs' corner, which has been reported as Mark Davis, what if Mark gets upset? Now we're really, really starting to get into an interesting situation. That is how a Jacobs trade could end up going down. So here's your opportunity to voice your opinion on the Raiders Report. Will Josh Jacobs get traded? Type yes or no. And you know what? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's show. So you're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break while the ad is playing. It helps Chuggs and I out if you let it play. So scroll on down. Give us your vote. Yes or no. Will Jacobs get traded? I'm going to say that there is a 10% chance that Jacobs is traded in the next 2 months. And when I say the next 2 months, I technically mean by the end of July, so we got 2 weeks there, and then in the month of August. I will 100% look at every single one of y'all in the eyes right now and say, if the Raiders are bad in the season, and then the NFL trade deadline rolls around November 1st, if they're top 5 pick potential, I think every single person on the Raiders has a potential to get traded, minus number 98. Max Crosby, the only player that will never get traded because he is the face of this franchise. Devontae, it's still a possibility. The problem with Jacobs and the problem with the running back market right now is teams aren't looking to trade for a running back. Not only are they not looking to trade for a running back, they also don't want to pay him big money, because if I'm Jacobs' team and I'm Josh, right, and if I'm an NFL team, and if I go out and I trade for Jacobs, I got to sit down and know that I can't just make a trade. I am trading for him to go out and pay him right now. With the amount of running backs that are on the free agent market, don't get me wrong, Zeke, Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, none of those guys are close to what Jacobs can offer a team. But when you're an NFL team looking at the current running back market, you got to be able to sit back and think, would I rather give $3 million to Ezekiel Elliott, or do I want to give potentially at least $13, $14 million to Josh Jacobs, and I have to give up draft capital? The way that the running back market is, teams and organizations are going to go with the cheaper ladder in free agency, which only hurts Jacobs' contract, and it only hurts Jacobs' trade value. So to me, Jacobs, who was a team captain last year, if he is a distraction off the field, that's where I think things could get ugly. Like, it could get ugly for Josh because his trade value is going to go down, and then it could also get ugly for the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, Jacobs can sit up here and he could tell you all he wants in terms of him not liking the situation he's in. He wants to get paid more money. But then you also got to think of the type of coaches and regime that McDaniels and Ziegler are. They are personnel and coaches over players. So when you have a regime that believes in, hey, this is a team sport, it takes every single guy in that locker room, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It takes every single guy in that locker room to believe not only in each other, but to believe in what we are doing, and that is the Patriot way to make sure that you go get that Super Bowl, to make sure that you are a successful team. So if one of your team captains isn't buying in and is proving to be a distraction off the field, that's not going to sit well with McDaniels. That's definitely not going to sit well with Ziegler. It's not going to sit well with Mark Davis because he's paying those two guys to run this ship the way that he wants. And the one player that Davis has continually backed is Jacobs. Well, if he loses Mark Davis and he pisses off McDaniels and he pisses off Dave Ziegler, guess what? This could turn into a really interesting situation and not in a good way. So coming up here on the Raiders Report, I got my top 5 Josh Jacobs trade destinations. And I don't want the Raiders to trade away Josh. I want him to be a member of this team. Anybody who says the Raiders are going to be better without Josh, they're drinking way too much Fireball, way too much boots. The Raiders are a better team with Josh Jacobs. Let's not get that twisted. And I want the Raiders to win football games this upcoming season. However, if I'm going to talk about trade rumors, my job as an analyst, my job here at Chat Sports, my job, the host of the Raiders Report, is to also be able to sit up here and say, well, here are the teams that could potentially trade them, and this is what a trade looks like. Let's go to number 5 here on the list. It's the Baltimore Ravens. The reason why the Ravens are on this list is if you had to guess what team's going to run the football the most in the NFL this upcoming season, I'm going to guess the Ravens. Why? Because they run the football more than anybody. On top of that, J.K. Dobbins right now is their main back, and he wants a brand new contract, and he didn't even play. He's been really, really injured. So if you're the Ravens, you're like, well, we just gave Lamar Jackson a lot of money. Right now is going to be our Super Bowl window, if you will. And looking at the rest of the AFC, what's a good way to keep Josh Allen off the field? What's a good way to keep Joe Burrow off the field? What's a good way to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field? It's with a great running game. So if you're dealing with the J.K. Dobbins BS, could you potentially make a deal for Josh Jacobs and now he be your main running back? I don't know, something to think about. Let's go to number 4 here on my Jacobs trade destinations. I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins, and it's another team predicated on running the football. Miami, if you were to ask me which team right now is the most likely to make a move for a running back, I'd say it's the Dolphins. And do I think it would be trading for Jacobs? No, I necessarily do not think that. But Dalvin Cook, I do think ends up going to the Dolphins. However, what's the one thing that the Raiders always talk about, or at least I always talk about? It's relationships. Whether you like to hear this or not, Tom Brady is a partial owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Tom Brady is great friends with the Miami Dolphins owner. They were on the yacht together. That's why the Dolphins forfeited their first-round pick this past season. As far as I'm concerned, all it would take is Tom Brady calling up, what's his name, the owner of the Dolphins, Ross, and then a deal could end up potentially getting done. I got 3 more Jacobs trade destinations coming up here on the Raiders Report, but hey, today's show is presented by Manscaped. And for all the guys out there, think about how difficult dating life is, right? Then you finally get to that point where she's like, all right, yeah, I'll come back to your house. Or you think about the point of you get to the spot in your relationship. I want you guys to be confident when it gets to that point, and y'all know what point I'm talking about. When they go down there, it's like everything's looking good. And Manscaped is going to help you end up doing that. Use code Raiders at manscaped.com. Also, it's the summertime, and I hear Chuggs yelling in my ear, Cannonball.
Cannonballs!
Well, I want to make sure your cannonballs are looking 100% authentic and great. I don't want any George W. going on down there. I want your Ken Stabler to be flowing in the wind as it absolutely should be. And Manscaped is going to help you do that. And the Lawnmower 4.0 is the perfect product to try to get your hands on, and even the perfect package out there. Whether you need the ball toner, the ball deodorant, their boxes are super, super comfortable, and you can actually get the perfect package at $87.99 with promo code Raiders. The link's going to be available for you guys down in the comments and down in the description below, because we would appreciate it. What do you got for me?
Hey, you know, Mitch, I've heard it's not about the size of the cannonballs. It's
Really?
about making a splash.
Oh.
And with Manscaped, prep for barbecue season by making sure your grill master has the hottest dog the summer has ever seen.
So if you want your hottest dog, then hey, you got to get some Manscaped flowing right now. It's manscaped.com, code Raiders, 20% off, and you're going to be able to get some free shipping. So seriously, turn your longs on into a longs on. Let's go to number 3 here. It's the Buffalo Bills on my list for potential Jacobs trade destinations. The only teams to me that are truly in the mix to making a deal are teams that believe that their Super Bowl window is right now. And to me, the Bills, top running backs, James Cook, I like their pass-catching back, Naheem Hines. They also have Damian Harris. I mean, let's be real. Same thing I said about Baltimore. Same thing can be said about Miami. You want to keep some of those dynamic offenses off the field. If you had Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Josh Jacobs, good Lord, that'd be a tough offense to stop. Let's go to number 2 here. It's the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles already made a trade for DeAndre Swift, right? And this is a team to me that they don't really need to go out and add a running back. But the most ballsy team, I'd say the last 2 years, and hell, it might even be longer than that. As long as your general manager is Howie Roseman, not a doubt in my mind, uses Manscaped, because that guy in a split second isn't afraid to put it on the table and say, hey, I'm going to try to go out and win a Super Bowl. And for a team that was the runner-up, could they potentially do an insane deal that gets some people's attention after losing Miles Sanders? And DeAndre Swift has not been the healthiest running back. I'm just saying, watch out for Philadelphia as a potential trade destination. And then the number 1 destination, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. They still have the most money in terms of salary cap space. Sounds like that's what Jacobs wanted to get. And Chicago also has that good relationship with the Raiders. Champ Kelly, the right-hand man, if you will, to Dave Ziegler, the assistant general manager, was previously with Chicago. And it's why you've seen some of the Raiders trades, or maybe not trades, but moves between both of these teams, because there is a connection there. The top running back, Khalil Herbert in Chicago, they have a great running game with Justin Fields as their quarterback. Can you add right now Jacobs to that division, which seems more wide open than has ever been historically since Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre aren't there anymore? So the number 1 team most likely to trade for Jacobs right now in the month of July and August, I'm going to say, is the Chicago Bears. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, Josh Jacobs trade ideas. I see some people right now down in the comments saying, oh, what about the Saints? The Saints trading for Jacobs makes 0 sense unless Alvin Kamara gets a serious suspension. Unless Wild wants the GM, correct. Coming up next here, we got some Josh Jacobs trade ideas, and I did this a little bit differently to lay out the different trades that could potentially happen. So the first trade coming up here is a team trades for Jacobs. And some of you are like, well, no shit, Mitch. Hear me out here a little bit. every trade is different, okay? But if one team says, that's a guy that I want, if a team handpicks Jacobs, then they're going to be willing to give up more draft capital, more to go out and get him. The problem for the Raiders is, even if that be the case, I've seen on Twitter that, the Raiders could get 2 first-round picks for Jacobs. No, you couldn't. You know why? You know how I know that? Because the non-exclusive tag was on Jacobs, and nobody was willing to go 2 first-round picks. Oh, you could probably get a first-round pick for Jacobs. Before the NFL draft, yeah, you probably could have. Now the NFL draft has come and gone. That free agency has come and gone. And we're sitting here in the month of July. There is not going to be a single NFL team out there that looks at the Raiders, knowing the situation that they're in right now. It says, yeah, I'll give you a first-round pick. There is a 0% chance, a zero just win baby chance that the Raiders would get a first-round pick for Jacobs. A second-round pick, now that could be a potentially different story. I do think that there are a handful of teams out there that would be willing to give up a second-round pick, but it's also because they have the money. So if I'm going to sit up here and say that the number one team most likely to trade for Jacobs in the month of July or the month of August is the Chicago Bears, this is what it would turn out to be. Raiders receive a second-round pick. Chicago gets Josh Jacobs. My question to you is, would you trade Jacobs for a second-round pick? I want you to type T for trade, or you can go down in the comments, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this on a later date, and you can type your P for pass. Would you trade Josh Jacobs for a second-round pick? No. No, no. No, no, no. Michael Scott, no, 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 no. Jacobs is worth more than a second-rounder. It's not really close to me, right? But I get the fact that the running back market right now, it sucks. It's crap. I 100% get that. And getting a second-round pick for a running back, some people might view that as a win. To me, though, the Raiders are so much better with Jacobs on the roster compared to not on the roster that just getting that second-round pick, yeah, the second-rounder is great and all, but I think it sends a really, really bad message to trade away a player really under market value, who you named a team captain last season, who should have been Offensive Player of the Year with over 2,000 yards. What does that tell other players that have those type of seasons entering this team with McDaniels and Ziegler? It says that you don't have my back, and big-time players, they don't want to hear that. So if you're looking for more Raiders analysis, like I am providing on today's show, not just talking about the latest news, rumors, but providing those top destinations, providing what it would cost to trade away Jacobs or have a team trade for him, then subscribe today. We are called The Raiders Report. We are the number one most watched Raiders show, YouTube, in the entire world. We have over 138,000 subscribers, and I'd like to show you why that we have built an amazing family here. So hit that subscribe button. If you don't like watching the show after a week, hit the unsubscribe button. You got absolutely nothing to lose. Let's go to the next Josh Jacobs trade idea. If Jacobs demands a trade, I don't know if anybody out there has stocks, but this would be the Jacobs trade stock. And it would just go directly down. Because as soon as a player says, get me the hell out of here, the stock goes down, man. And I do think as soon as the stock goes down, then other teams are going to be like, well, wait a minute here. We might be able to go out and get him. And I think an aggressive team would swoop in. The most aggressive team right now to make a trade for our running back, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Some of the trades that you're about to see here, you're not going to like. I hope that somebody takes a screenshot. I hope you put it on Twitter. I hope you put it on Instagram, because there's going to be people out there that are like, I can't believe Mitch likes this trade. I don't. I hate this trade for the Raiders. I'm simply trying to outline what it would potentially cost if Jacob says, get me the hell out of here. To me, this is probably an idea of something that you could look at. The Eagles, they get Jacobs, and they would probably get a 5th-round pick. Let's say the Eagles still decide to throw in a 2nd-rounder. I don't even know if that would be the case. I hate this trade for the Raiders. You better hope Jacobs doesn't demand a trade. Let's go to the next thing. Las Vegas gets sick of the Jacobs drama. This is an organization that's trying to look forward. This is an organization that has been surrounded by drama for multiple years, and now you got McDaniels and Ziegler. They were surrounded by the car drama. They don't want that. They want to have everybody on the same page on and off the field, and everybody motivated and inspired to be able to put on those shoulder pads, put on those cleats, rock that silver and black jersey, and rock the Raiders emblem. If you don't have a team leader buying in, the Raiders could say, hey, man, we want you out of here. And if that ends up going down, I think the Raiders would take a very cheap deal to not have to worry about the headache anymore. Now, let me be very clear. To get to this point would have to be like worst case, like serious break glass in case of emergency type of things. But a third and a fifth round pick for a player of Jacobs' caliber, some of you are probably like, Mitch, there's no way that's going to happen. How about we hop in a time machine? Remember Antonio Brown, where at one point was the best receiver in the NFL? The Steelers couldn't wait to get rid of him. Third and the fifth round pick. I'll also say Antonio Brown, Josh Jacobs, not even close to the same nutcases that AB is, right? But it shows when a team starts to get fed up, they're more willing to just wipe their hands clean and potentially move on. And some coaching staffs, like the Raiders, believe some players aren't worth those headaches. This is a team, this is a regime that believes in coaching, personnel over star talent. Then the final thing is this. Las Vegas wants a player trade, and this was probably the hardest one to come up with because I can come up with 20 different trade ideas in this regard here. So I did a few different areas. So the first trade that you're about to see here is, what if the Raiders try to go out and get a running back in exchange for Jacobs? Because do I think Zamir White's going to be the main back? Yes, I do. If Jacobs would end up getting dealt, I would hope they would still move on from a Brandon Bolden. They have Sincere McCormick. They have a Britton Brown. But the reason why I have Damian Harris here, and the Raiders also get a third-round pick, the Bills, who could potentially go out and get Jacobs anyway because he'd be the best running back on their roster. I have Damian Harris on here because back in 2021, when McDaniels was the offensive coordinator, when McDaniels was the OC and Dave Ziegler was the general manager, and Mac Jones's rookie year, their team went on to win 10 games, go to the playoffs. Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler, and Damian Harris had 15 touchdowns on 200 carries, essentially showing that, yes, in the right system, any running back can be successful. The other trade idea that you could do is go to the defensive side of the football, and this is just kind of one that's been thrown out there a bunch here on this show. Ravens receive Jacobs. The Raiders get Patrick Queen at linebacker. Patrick Queen has worked with Rob Ryan, who is the Raiders' some specialty defensive coach at this point. He was an inside linebacker coach with Baltimore. I know Queen's not an inside linebacker. He's more of an outside LB, but it's still some defensive help. Maybe that's something that the Raiders could potentially look at. Though, Patrick Queen also wants a brand new deal, so they'd have to pay him as well. So I want to know, comment your Josh Jacobs trade ideas. I love doing these type of shows. When I started getting into this business, coming up with crazy trade ideas, being able to do something different was always something that I love to do. So how about this? If you take a time out of your day to watch what I'm doing here on this show, I'm going to put some of my favorite trade ideas that you guys submit down in the comments of this video, and I'm going to put them on a future Raiders Report show. I wish you guys got to see the face that I was looking at for the longest time. All right, y'all, we got a score prediction time. Raiders, New England Patriots. Final time.
Last chance to get it in. Giggity.
Raiders, Patriots. Also, Chuggs, if you could be so kind.
Yep.
Can you fill this boot up for me?
Oh, yeah.
It's my final Zahn boot that I owe because you were cooked yesterday and had to be able to step up.
Hey, don't mess with this dude.
Let's go to Don't Mess with James Lillard. How do you think the running back carries get split up this year? Do the Raiders get Zamir ready for 2024? Could Zamir end up with more carries than JJ? No. I do not forecast a world where Zamir White outpaces Jacobs in any sense of the imagination. Do I think Zamir gets more touches this year? Yes. I actually will say, to me, Zamir White's probably going to be closer to 80 to 100 touches, where last season, I think he had like 17 carries off the top of my head. And they're probably going to lessen the workload a little bit around Jacobs to make sure that he's healthy for the later on parts of the season. But usually the way that teams like to do this is it's going to be heavy workload for Josh early on, and then it's going to be more Zamir White down the stretch of the end of the season. So that's how I'll see it. I'll still predict, like Jacobs last year had 393 touches, and historically, running backs being able to get that significant of a workload back-to-back years, it simply doesn't happen. I'll go on a limb and say because they franchise tagged him, they're still going to want to use him. he's not going to be able to play through he's not going to play through the injuries like he did last season. He's also probably going to be more inclined to take a breather out here and there because why wouldn't Jacobs do that? So I'd say Jacobs is probably going to be around 300 touches this year. So you take those other 93 touches, you could probably almost add those 80% to Zamir White and some other players in the mix. But it's a really good question there, James. Let's go to another one rolling in here from John Scheffler. 28-17. Raiders win. It's a good score prediction. Chuggs, why don't you give some shout-outs here to some other peeps while I take down my second
Let's go. And
Zon boot.
I'm going to start a new poll.
Okay.
Who do we start against the Bears next week?
Okay.
Or I'm just going to say, who do we start next game?
Who do we start next game, Josh Jacobs or Zamir White? It's an interesting question. I'll be really curious to see how the vote goes. And honestly, I think however the vote goes is what we do. Yeah. We're a show of the people. So whatever you guys want next week. Do you want it to be Zamir or do you want it to be Josh Jacobs? I'll tell you this. If it was my vote, I would say Josh Jacobs because I don't think he misses a game all year.
Yeah.
I don't think he holds out.
Well, and you have to remember, it's Madden.
Yep.
So Zamir White, he's like a 72 overall.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs, 95.
Hey, it's up to them, whatever they want. I know there's some people like, oh, Jacobs is going to sit out, and he can technically sit out until November 14th, which I believe is week 10. So, like, definitely something to think about. I don't see him sitting out and losing $561,000 essentially every game that he doesn't play in a year that he wants to make money. Like, if he doesn't play, he does not get paid. That's how the franchise tag works. Zeno, did JJ and Saquon Barkley want highest paid and most guaranteed? From what I understand, no. And that's only going off of a Giants insider that I trust a lot, and it's also going off of what Jacobs has been saying. From what I understand, and this is what I was told 2 weeks ago, the deal that Jacobs' team was looking for with the Raiders was 3 years, $40.5 million, and somewhere around $30 million in guarantees.
That's what Jacobs wanted.
Yes, that's what he wanted. I don't know how close that is because to me, if you're wanting 30 mil, the Raiders, I imagine, offered 22.2 million guarantee. If they didn't, then that's shame on McDaniels and Ziegler for thinking that Jacobs and his team is a bunch of suckers. But from what I understand, no, they did not want to be highest paid, most guaranteed. Barkley, maybe. Like, Raider fans can get upset about Jacobs not getting tagged. Saquon Barkley not getting tagged is more of a storyline than Jacobs. What did I say?
Not getting tagged.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Saquon Barkley not getting an extension is more of a storyline than Jacobs. Like, if Barkley would have got extended and Jacobs didn't, that's a big deal. The fact that both of those guys didn't get a contract extension, it's not so much the Raiders saying, Jacobs, we don't value you. It's not so much the Giants telling Barkley, hey, we don't value you. It's simply saying the running back market is just crashed right now. And that's really what it's about. Got another one rolling in from Killer Cruz, and I got to knock this back from Long Zon, and then...
I'll read this one.
Cool.
28-21, Raiders win. How was your venue shopping? Mitch is going to answer that after he takes this down. Chuggs kept it hanging the whole time. Yes, sir. I want JJ to stay to get the number 8 jersey. Just give JJ the bag. Well, can't get the bag now that the extension deadline has passed. He's going to either have to play on the tag, hold out, or Mitch is going to be able to break it down in more essence on Thursday. But there is a way that he can have a revised one-year deal, according to Tom Pelissero. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to see JJ in the 8 too. Seeing him in the number 8 jersey on Madden, I was like, that looks pretty clean. Mitch, how was venue shopping?
Oh, better than that boot.
Yep.
Oh, man. Venue shopping was interesting, right? Because this might surprise you. I don't know if some of y'all know Alex, some of y'all don't. She is very type A, and she is such a planner, and she does all the wedding planning. I say yes to a few things here and there, but for the most part, she's holding it down. So to be able to see some of the venues and for her to be able to break it down was cool. And you know, you want that feeling of, all right, like this is going to be a special day for us. So I'll say the first venue we looked at was okay. the second venue was definitely like, yeah, I think this is what it's going to be because we want something. We're only going to have 64 people at our wedding, so it's going to be really, really small. Really small. And my family alone could be 300 people. So it was tough. But appreciate the question, Killa. And again, shout out to Chuggs for being able to hold it down yesterday.
All right, let's get into this Madden sim.
Let's do it.
Got a great game for you. Raiders, Patriots, Week 6. Madden.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. It's Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and it's time for NFL Week 6. Madden simulation. The Las Vegas Raiders going up against the New England Patriots. We got a little Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler going up against their old boss, Bill Belichick. The question that I have, because we're going to get a lot of Raider fans here, obviously. We're also going to get a lot of Patriots fans tuning into this one as well. Who you got? Type LV for the Las Vegas Raiders, or I want you to type NE for the New England Patriots. Bonus points to anybody out there that can predict the score correctly. Anytime that I do these Madden sims, the first thing that I'll always look for is, all right, who's betting on who? What are the score predictions in there? And I get the fact that some of y'all are like, well, it's Week 6, Mitch. What are the records here for both of these teams? And funny enough, I literally do a Madden sim for all 32 teams. I always look at their records. That way, if the Raiders do make the playoffs, I'll be able to have an accurate look at the playoff hunt. So right now, the Patriots in Madden are 2-3. The Las Vegas Raiders are 3-2. If you want to tune in live to some other Madden watch parties, here is our Raiders Madden live schedule. We go live every single Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday in July. Then when you get closer to August, and that's really when the Raiders preseason gets at least ramped up a little bit, we will end our season right before that. However, if the Raiders do end up making the playoffs, that's when we're going to have a little bit of a decision to make for Chuggs and I in terms of when those games are going to be played. But put all those dates in your calendar if you want to join us live here on the Raiders Report. The way that you can join us live, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, so every single time that we drop a video, every single time we do one of these crazy shows, and if you get done watching this video and you're like, dude, that was insane for a Madden sim game, guess what? I practice how I play. The amount of effort, the amount of energy that I put into these watch parties, I go out for it, right? Like, I don't do anything half-assed. I also say the watch parties, man, are nothing compared to what you're going to see during a regular season game. So, Chuggs, it's Week 6. Raiders, Patriots. Also found out that Bill Belichick's not coaching in this game. Why? Because Bill Belichick is the only head coach not a part of the Coaches Association, so therefore cannot be featured in Madden. It's kind of weird. But McDaniels going up against his old buddy in Mac Jones, who, if you remember back in 2021, Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler with McDaniels a part of that regime. You got Jimmy Garoppolo going up against one of his old teams and the New England Patriots. The amount of storylines that are going to be around this game when it does actually happen, it's all there for you. Why? You got 9 coaches on the Las Vegas Raiders who were previously with New England. 20% of this Raiders roster has some sort of tie with the Patriots. I mean, this is as crazy as it gets for storylines around this one. Now, some of the things that we were looking for going into this game, especially as the season goes on, Michael Mayer is actually getting the start. So the rookie second rounder, Austin Hooper's been getting some action. The Raiders are actually going to be starting the tight end Mayer. Let me know down in the comments, is that a good idea to start Michael Mayer over Austin Hooper? Type your Y for yes, or I want you to type your N for no. And if you want to be an overachiever, you can also tell me what type of impact you think that Mayer is going to end up having this season. So it looks like the Raiders are going to be kicking this one off, which means they get ball to start it off at half. And friendly reminder that the next game here for the Raiders is going to be Thursday against the Chicago Bears. That's going to be Week 7 at Soldier Field, which I've been at. Yeah, that's clearly not Bill Belichick. That looks like if Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia just morphed into one. That's what that person was. Kind of wild. All right, y'all, we got 8-minute quarters here. Let me know how many roughing the passer calls that we're going to get in today's game. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Yeah, Jacobs right now is leading the live poll, so 54% are for Jacobs. We got 528 people watching live. The kick is away, and it's going to be taken out of the back of the end zone by Stevenson up to the 20. Tackle made, no, missed, and then the tackle was made by Robert Spillane. And here comes the Patriots offense walking out onto the field. McDaniels and Ziegler are like, oh, man, I've messed with some of those teams. The stats that you see on screen are Mac Jones's numbers when McDaniels was the offensive coordinator. Let's see what ends up going down here for the Raiders. It looks like Max Crosby's on the field with Chandler Jones, maybe a little Byron Young. Tyree Wilson in the game, the rookie at the edge, rocking number 19, though he's number 9 in real life. Handoff up the middle, and it's going to be a gain of 5 by Stevenson. Really curious to see what he ends up doing this year from a fantasy football standpoint. But hey, anything's possible. Here we go. Juju Smith-Schuster getting his first start with the New England Patriots. Mike Gesicki. I'm not going to lie, I kind of forgot that he was the tight end in there. All right, here we go. Mac Jones. He got bunches to the left. Receiver down to the right. Raiders showing pressure. They do bring some pressure, but New England does a good job being able to hold it. Throws, caught. First down, Patriots. Devontae Parker. I mean, the Raiders, if you're going to bring 5 or 6 guys, you got to be able to get home. I like the idea that Tyree Wilson was able to get his man. My biggest question mark there, though, on that last play, why is Max Crosby in coverage? Why is Crosby in coverage? What are you doing?
Let's go Patriots.
Rolly's a Patriots fan. Somebody shut this guy up. Somebody shut this guy up. There you go. Power I formation, handoff up the middle, and that's a huge running lane. It's going to be a gain of 15. Tackle made by Robert Spillane, second tackle of the game. Not the start that this Raiders defense was looking for. I mean, I don't know what Diablo was doing, and I don't know what Fat Belichick is doing either.
That run looked very similar to the one where then he decided to toss back to Jacoby Myers.
Oh, the Jacoby Myers to go Chandler. Ball's at the 44. Raiders look like that they're playing some sort of zone here. I wish we could adjust it to have them play a little bit more man. Back foot, Mac Jones throws, picked off, going the other way. He's going all the way down. It's Duke Shelley. I left the turnover chain at my desk. Interception by Duke Shelley. Spam those INTs. It was the pressure. The pressure forced a bad throw by Mac Jones. Throws it up to Duke. Let's get the INTs. He has no idea where it is. It's in my desk, Rolly. In the pouch, the kangaroo pouch. 0-0. What a play by the Raiders defense, and that is the back-breaking turnover that this offense now hopefully can take advantage of. If you don't know the turnover chain, then you're not a real one here on the Raiders Report. Here we go. Raiders offense on the field. Ball at the 43-yard line. Garoppolo under center. Handoff. Jacobs. And he's going to make one guy. Drags him for 5 yards. Second down and 5. Coming up here for the silver and black. In this season, Austin Hooper's been getting the start. In today's game, the rookie out of Notre Dame, Michael Mayer, gets the start today. And he's lined up in tight end. Hooper's actually right next to Devontae. Top right, Jacoby Myers. Fake handoff to Jacobs. Garoppolo throws. Jacobs caught. First down, Raiders. Get those ones. Get the ones flowing right now in the chat. I got Roblox. All day Raiders. Tano Raider. What up, Kenneth Phillips? What up, Paul? You want to shout out here on the Raiders Report? Spam those ones. What up, Zalesbo? Garoppolo under center. Looks like it's almost the same formation, and this time instead of a fake to Jacobs, it's a handoff to Jacobs. Left side makes a guy miss all the way down to the 26-yard line. 2 carries for 24 yards. Should have got paid from Chuggs. And it's a big first down for the silver and black. Come on, Raiders. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Oh, man. Will the Raiders beat the Patriots in Week 6? Let me know what you guys are thinking. Garoppolo, shotgun. Got Renfro, Adams, Jacoby Myers down left, and it's going to be another handoff. Jacobs, he's got a lane. First down and more, all the way down to the 12. I'll tell you what, Jacobs is running like a man that says, hey, y'all should have paid me, man. 3 carries for 38 yards. This is a very good start for the Raiders. Last week, though, against the Packers, they were up 17-0. Green Bay tied it up 17-17. And the Silver and Black were able to come away with a victory here. Are they going to be able to punch this one in and get a touchdown? Hopefully, let's get some TDs going right now. Garoppolo, shotgun. Jacobs is the running back. Looks like Michael Mayer in at tight end again. Garoppolo pressured. It's a screen to Jacobs, and he makes a miss. And he picks up 6. That should have been a loss of 1. This entire drive has been the Josh Jacobs show. I mean, it's almost comical that for those of you that maybe watch this a month or 2, 3 months from now, this was the game directly after in real time where Jacobs didn't get a contract extension. Garoppolo under center. This has got, Jacobs, another handoff right side. You know what? I wish he would have bounced that. I wish. I didn't love that run. I didn't love the vision there. Tackle made by Kyle Duggar, which now makes it 3rd down and 3. In this game, this season, this is Davante Adams territory. That's typically been what Garoppolo has looked for. We'll see what he decides to do here. Garoppolo looks. I have absolutely no idea what that was. That was either a miscommunication by Renfro. All I know is the red zone woes for the Raiders, for Josh McDaniels. They continue, and here comes the field goal unit here. Daniel Carlson, should be a chip shot. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Raiders got a 3-0 lead over New England. I mean, I'm with you, Martin. Same old story. Unbelievable. The accuracy of this game, man, is just, it's impeccable. Minus the roughing the passers, though we haven't gotten one yet today. I'm curious a little bit to see if we do end up getting one. How many roughing the passer calls do we get in today's Raiders-Patriots Madden simulation? 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. No roughing the passers yet. Nick says 2,417. I'll take the under. Yeah, now you guys are trolling me. All right, forget I even asked. F me. F me. Also, since I know some of y'all are probably going to be some Patriots fans that end up watching the show, and I asked earlier on our live show, who do you hate more? And we actually got more Josh McDaniels' than we did Bill Belichick's. So if you guys want to get your hands on a shirt that says Josh McDaniels eats corn the long way, though judging by this Madden simulation, it looks like Bill Belichick has only eaten corn the long way for the last year of his life. Mac Jones, fake handoff up the middle, nothing. Got all day to throw, middle field, caught. Tackle made quickly there by Divine Diablo. However, it's going to be a gain of 6. So again, if you want this shirt, it's Josh McDaniels eats corn the long way. It's an inside joke that we have here at the Raiders Report. I will say this, if I see anybody wearing this shirt during a game day, I'm going to know that you're a real one. Get your hands on it at chatsports.com/corn. Mac Jones drops back, looking, left. Oh, man, I don't know if he got it in. Did he get his feet in? If the catch against the Steelers is a catch, anything's possible. I think he got it in. Chuggs, I don't know. That's close. Did he catch it? Y for yes, N for no. That one was close. Oh, man, they're going to give it to him. Also, F. Trent Brown. FTB. FTB. Was it a catch? They're really going to rule that a catch. That one was close, man. Robach says no. El Loco says I think he did. Well, they're going to give it to him anyway. Jones, shotgun, through to the left. They've got one to the right. Handoff up the middle, and the Raiders defense is all over it. Ty Montgomery, no, sir. Gain of nothing. 2nd down and 10 coming up here. Tackle made by Max Crosby. Get the 98th flowing. Also, y'all, we are 30 likes away from 400 likes on our live show. So if you could, hit that like button. Jones, shotgun again. Tyree Wilson on Trent Brown. Throws caught by Kendrick Bourne, and it's going to be a first down. Mac Jones today, 4 of 5, 47 yards, and the interception. I mean, minus the pick, Jones in this offense has been pretty freaking stellar. I'm hoping, though, I mean, holy Trent Brown hold. My God. Did you see that? Throw the flag. He was all over him. All right, here we go. First down and 10 coming up here. Minute 29 remaining in the first quarter of action. If you don't already know, you're watching the Raiders Report. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. Oh, this Max is lined up really far outside. I like this matchup here. First down and 10. Crosby not able to get to him. Throws caught. Mike Gesicki probably going to be a first down, and it is first down and 10. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of holdings today, man. McDaniels is upset. He said, hey, throw that frickin' flag. Throw the flag. I'm seeing holding. First down and 10 coming up. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Let's get some defenses going. I see El Loco Uno 26. Spam defense with El Loco Uno 26. Jones under center. Handoff middle. Big running lane. And a huge first down. First down and 10 rolling up here. Got a super chat coming in from Mondo. We won 6 games with the top running back. How we win without him? I mean, I do think that the Raiders can win a lot of games if, for whatever reason, Jacobs wouldn't be on the field. Or more games for the simple fact of they blew so many last season. Ventrak, shout out to the New England coat, Fats Belichick. Ventrak, you a real one, my guy. Mac Jones, shotgun throws, picked! Again! Robert Spillane, 40, 50, to the 30, 20, 10, touchdown! Raiders! Robert Spillane read it perfectly. I think that's Mac Jones' second incompletion. He overthrows the receiver, black visor and all, takes it to the house. Robert Spillane touchdown. Are you shitting me? That's the second turnover now for New England. But you know what makes me nervous, Jeremy? History. And last week, the Raiders, 2 early turnovers by the defense, had a double-digit lead by the end of the first quarter, and it just got ugly from there on out. Dude, the Raiders' defense is killing it this year. That's their 3rd defensive touchdown by week 6. I love Madden, man. Yeah. Apparently, Robert Spillane's a track star. He was moving. Spillane might be the worst defender from a coverage standpoint on this Raiders defense. Pick 6. Love it. Threw it right to him. It's a great read. Oh, the black visor does look legit. I'll have to send that video to Spillane's wife. Tackle made by Keelan Cole. Great play there. Great play by the receiver who's probably not going to make the roster. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. Raiders up 10-0. And I mean, this is a story game about turnovers. I feel good though, man. Feel pretty damn good. Mac Jones under center. Raiders up 10-0. Power I formation, handoff left side. And it's another big running lane there by Ramondre Stevenson. 4 carries for 49. This has been a very heavy run game for both teams. Like, Jacobs has run the ball effectively. Stevenson's been picking up some big chunk yardage. Raiders need to wake the hell up here and see what's going on. I also see Neil Farrell Jr. getting some run today with Byron Young, both very young players. Who? Oh, if Spillane gets a pick 6 in real life against New England, yes, that's a boot on the house. Handoff, and it's stopped. Great play there by Bilal Nichols. Nation, you know what to do.
The 3rd down.
Get the threes going in the chat. Mac Jones under center. Looks like fullback in the game. Back to drop. Jones looking. Still looking. Throws. And it's not even close, and it's going to fall incomplete. Jones today, 5 of 8, 72 yards. 2 interceptions. I'm going to guess that the punting unit's going to be coming out here for New England. Definitely not the start
Vote in the live
that
poll.
they were looking for. And the punting unit is out here on the field. The Raiders definitely not trying to block anything. Can we get a good punt return? They should have good blocking here. Return by DeAndre Carter. He's going to get up the field, and you're in good field position. You're at the 41, 42-yard line. Coming up here, 47, excuse me. Coming up here, first down and 10 for the Las Vegas Raiders. And they have a good opportunity to go up by at least 3 scores. Garoppolo, handoff, Jacobs. He cut it back. Not a lot of running loom there. I mean, it's Madden. You should always go to the outside. Oh, I do see Ventrac. Queen Sarah Otto. You see Brandon Jasper. Ooh, Ken Kenyon in the chat. Rob. All at the Raiders game. Love to see it. All right, Garoppolo under center. Power I formation. Adams and Jacoby Myers to the right. Fake handoff. Jacobs. Garoppolo throws Devontae, and it's just too easy. Pitch and catch. Garoppolo 3 of 4 for 39 yards. Adams' first catch of the game goes for 26. And the Raiders, first down. I mean, who's covering him? They put Matthew Judon on Devontae. Yeah, Fat Belichick is not having it right now. I think Bill Belichick ate Bill O'Brien and also ate Matt Patricia. It's ugly, man. Bunches to the left. Renfro down to the right. Garoppolo. Raiders pick up the blitz. Garoppolo's going to throw back foot. Just throws one up. Wow. I'll tell you what. That would have been a hell of a catch there by Devontae. That would have been an unbelievable catch by Devontae. The next thing we got to change is Colt Miller. I can't sleep at night seeing how just scrawny he is in this game. I don't know how we do it. He's scrawny. Raiders 10th, or it's going to be the 11th play of the game for them. 5 runs, 5 passes. Garoppolo looks, throws quickly. It's the rookie, Michael Mayer. And he will not be brought in down all the way down to the 4. I mean, dude was carrying 4 Patriots defenders. And it's a big first down for the silver and black. I mean, this is a really, really good start here to this game. I mean, why are they putting Matthew Judon out in coverage? Both tight ends on the field. I like it. Got to get a touchdown here. 17-0. Big difference between 13-0. However, I would get pretty nervous, I'm not going to lie, for another 17-0 game. Garoppolo under center. Jacobs the running back. Jacobs up the middle. It's a good run. Good try. Doesn't go anywhere. 6 for 39. How many catches is Michael Mayer going to have this upcoming season? For those of you watching this live, we'll give some shout-outs here on the show. For people who watch this on a later date, just curious to see what you guys say. We are an interactive channel after all. All right, Jacoby Myers, far right receiver. To the left, you got Mayer. Garoppolo looking, and just throws it. I mean, he might have been able to run that in. I think he was able to run that one in. Jermaine, tell him, hey, buddy, you could have made that one. Starting offensive line today for the Raiders, Colton Miller, then Dylan Parham, Andre James, Latane Moody, Jermaine Illuminor. Garoppolo shotgun. Oh, this is Hunter Renfrow territory. He's on a linebacker. That should have been Renfrow. Garoppolo looking, run it in! Run it! And he runs to a defender! What are you doing? He has a wide open running lane to the end zone. I mean, watch this. And he decides to run directly at a defender. Kelly said, WTF. What is he doing? I mean, there was not another path that you could have taken that would have been worse. That's like you pulling up GPS, seeing where there's traffic, and you're like, that's where I'm going. And another field goal attempt here by this Raiders defense, or offense. Kick is up. Kick is good. 13-0. Raiders have a lead. I mean, it's still been a very good start, but 2 field goals, a defensive touchdown. I mean, what the hell was that? I can't even believe what I just saw there. McDaniels is like, are you sure he ran directly into that defender? That's unbelievable. Patrick B, Michael Scott into the lake. I love that reference. Somebody said put in O'Connell. Nah, I mean, we're going to try to keep this as real as possible. Jacobs or Zamir, get those live votes in. Who do you want starting at running back next game against Chicago? New England, after a few bad returns, they're going to catch it, and it's going to be a touchback. Coming up, 1st down and 10 for the Las Vegas Raiders. What did I say? Raiders? Yep, New England. Under center, power I formation. One to the left, one to the right. Mac Jones, handoff. And this time he's going nowhere. The rookie, Byron Young, saw that one coming from a mile away. Big tackle there. 2nd down and 8. Coming up here for New England. Come on, defense. Also, Venthrak, Raiders getting their hands on some balls and bringing that big D. The super brought to you by Manscaped. Shout out to Venthrak, man. They try to run it again with Stevenson, and he loses a yard. So, 3rd down and 9. Nation, you know what to do.
The 3rd down.
Spam those threes. Mac Jones, shotgun. Drops back, looking. Middle of the field, deep. What was that? Incomplete. Mac Jones is seeing ghosts right now. He is seeing ghosts. I mean, Patrick Graham must have a voodoo doll of him because Jones has no answer. And another punt coming out here for New England. I mean, the Raiders defense has almost been too good in this game. Almost too good. Back to receive the punt, DeAndre Carter. And he gains about 6 inches, which some people would be proud of. Now, if you're looking for more Raiders content, videos all year long and 100% for free, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and if you think that these shows are crazy, wait until you see our regular season watch parties. Garoppolo, shotgun, handoff, Jacobs, left side. He's going to get about 4, maybe 5. Jacobs today, 7 carries for 43 yards in today's game. Also, we did just hit 400 likes. So shout out to all the real ones out there for supporting and repping today's show. Garoppolo, shotgun again. You got Adams, Myers, Hunter Renfrow down far right. Michael Mayer, the tight end. Garoppolo throws. Screen to Jacobs. This looks like it's set up nicely all the way down to the 50. And a big pickup there. 2-minute warning for the Las Vegas Raiders, up 13-0. Minute 59 remaining. I mean, Jacobs has really been used in both the running game and in the passing game. No doubt about it. Garoppolo, empty backfield. Renfrow in the slot. This is Renfrow all day. Garoppolo looking. Throw short. Nope. Adams makes a guy miss. And he's going to gain about 8 yards. Jimmy G today, real nice. 6 of 9. 84 yards, I think is what that said. Adams 2 for 34. And the Raiders, they're looking good. Need to get a touchdown, though. Need to get a touchdown here. Can't fail. What? Zahn is not here today. Garoppolo looking, throws, caught. 1st down Raiders. Finds Jacobs, 4th catch of the game.
Let's go.
Showing, hey, you should have paid me in week 6. Shout out to Jacobs. Yeah. Nope. Jacobs 4 for 32 through the air, and he also has over 40 rushing yards in today's game. Minute 29 to go here in the first half. And also important to remember, the Raiders started this game on defense. 2 interceptions have really helped them out. They're going to get ball to start the half. Oh, my goodness. Garoppolo throws it right to the defender, and it's intercepted. Phillips. What is Jimmy G doing? Picked off, going the other way. I mean, you just can't have that. You were 0 for 2 in the red zone, and I don't know if that's a bad route by Jacoby Myers or what that was. Some sort of miscommunication there, and it's an interception. And now this is really, I mean, this could totally change this game. If New England's able to score 13-7, looks a lot different than, at worst, 16-0. I know that. Mac Jones, who has been booty cheeks in today's game, shotgun. Raiders are going to bring 5. They're going to get some pressure on Jones. He's got to get rid of it, and he falls harmlessly to the ground. 5 of 10, 57 yards, 2 interceptions today for the third-year quarterback out of Alabama. And I'll tell you this. I think, Chuggs, the roughing the passer thing worked because that 100% would have been roughing the passer last week. Mac Jones under center. Raiders look like they might be bringing some pressure. Nope, they're going to back off. Jones looking. I mean, Tyree Wilson is being held all day. Jones gets pressured by Mac Jones. He's got to throw it out of bounds. And it's third down. Come on, defense. Get loud. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts. Minute 13. Jones, shotgun. 1 to the right, looks like 2 to the left. Juju in motion. Duke Shelley covering Juju Smith-Schuster. Jones looking, still looking, throws it short. Oh, I think he got it. 4th, oh my gosh. They're going to say 4th and inches, timeout Raiders. That's a terrible spot, but I'll take it. That's a terrible spot. Is New England going to go for it? Or is Fat Belichick going to sack up here and go for it? I don't know. I can't believe they're going to punt it. Love it. Love to see it. Belichick, no confidence right now. Punt is away. DeAndre Carter caught. And he goes down at the 25-yard line. So now the Raiders, Jimmy G just threw a pick last drive. You got 2 timeouts. Got to get a field goal here. Make it a 3-possession game. Technically 2-possession, go for 2 twice, but the way this Patriots offense is played, I'm looking at that as 3 possessions. Garoppolo, ball at the 26, drops back. Patriots bring 4. Middle of the field caught by Michael Mayer, a second catch of the game, and it's a timeout. 53 seconds. Today, how many touchdowns does Jimmy Garoppolo throw in 2023? If you want to get out your crystal balls, get your predictions in. My number, 26. It's been the number that I've been throwing out there. I would love for him to be able to throw for 30. The Raiders definitely have the offense to throw for 30, but I don't see Jimmy G as that type of QB. Shotgun, drops back, throws out of bounds. Did he get it? Let's see. He was looking for Jacobs. I think he got his feet in. I think it's going to be a first down. Raiders, absolutely. It's a great job by the veteran running back to drag in that second toe, and it's a huge first down for Las Vegas. 49 seconds remaining here in the first half. Being able to get out of bounds, you preserve that timeout. Raiders up 13-0. Ball at the 37-yard line. Garoppolo, shotgun. I do think sooner or later you got to take a shot down the field here a little bit. Jimmy G's looking. Still looking, and here it comes. Shot down the field. Caught! Adams! Oh, my Lord. He said, you're too small to cover me. You got to give Jimmy G some credit here for trusting his guy, throwing one up against the player that intercepted him previously in this game. Devontae just too good. Should have been a 99 overall in Madden. Spam those 17s down in the chat. And he got out of bounds. Third catch, 83 yards in today's game. However, it's under review. Did he catch it? Y for yes and for no. Did Devontae catch it? Ooh, dude, I don't know. That foot might have been out of bounds. Oh, I don't know if he did, Chuggs. It's close. Did he catch it? Y for yes, N for no. I'm with Venom. He said crap. I need to see it again. I don't know. And they said it's no catch. Oh, that's devastating. No catch for Devontae. 2nd and 10 coming up here. Garoppolo throws right back to his man, Devontae. I mean, that's too good. He's too good. 3 for 56. Yeah, guys, let's hurry it up here a little bit, huh? No timeouts. That's a big-time throw by Garoppolo. That's a big time throw. Jerry Tillery is loving it right now on the sidelines, looking at that in the game pad. All right, Las Vegas, you got 24, 23, 22, 21, 16, 15, 14, 13. Fake handoff to Jacobs. Garoppolo looking, back foot, throws. That took way too much time. If I'm the Raiders here, you got to draw up a quick play, catch it, go down, and then kick a field goal after you call timeout. However, I know Madden, this probably means field goal. Oh, they're going to go for it. I like it. You got to get to the 35. Get 5 yards, go down, call timeout. Garoppolo drops back looking. He's got Adams in the middle of the field. Oh, and he's going to go down. Just an abysmal effort there by this offense. That's frustrating, man. So now they have 2 seconds. You just throw one up to the end zone? I mean, this is a bomb of a field goal. You just throw one up with Jimmy G? Or do you send out Carlson and you try to kick it? I feel like it's further than 44. Holy shit. 63-yard field goal for Daniel Carlson from the Raiders' face. And he made it! Holy shit, Daniel Carlson, 63-yard field goal. This guy F's, man. 3rd field goal of the game for Carlson. Thank the Lord. The Raiders' offense has been bad. I mean, they have not been good in today's game. Raiders' defense is playing great. As for Las Vegas, though, and Carlson, he might be the MVP of this one. Chuggs, I know what the rules are, but I got to go take a leak. So, those 2 boots. Yeah, if you could pause it real quick here, unless you want to handle halftime for a little bit. All right, yeah, pause it real quick. I got to go take a pee. It's getting out of hand here. So, hang on a second. I'm going to go take a leak. Chuggs is going to hop on screen. Y'all know the rules. Y'all know the rules. If you don't know the rules, people who are watching, you can explain the rules. Chuggs, here we go.
Here we go. As we are set for the 3rd quarter of action. We're at halftime right now. Exciting game so far. 16-0. The Raiders defense getting more turnovers than they did all of the 2022 football season in today's game. Incredible performance so far. Incredible performance. And I'm going to bring it back to this question. Who do you hate more? Who do you dislike more? I'm not going to say hate. That's a strong word. Who do you dislike more? Josh McDaniels or Bill Belichick? Let me know. Type JM for Josh McDaniels. Type BB for Bill Belichick. Who do you think is worse? BB's rolling in the chat. I got McDaniels. Mike Nick says that one's tough. Adrian, how you feeling? I'm feeling okay. I've been hydrating all day today. Feeling a lot better. You know the rules while Mitch is gone, though. Every $10 super chat, that's a shot. PG, here we go again with a double-digit lead. Yeah, I mean, Raiders have not historically been good with double-digit leads, especially this past season. Robert's right. It's shot clock right now. Every 10 is a shot for Mitch to start off the second half as Jimmy G, Josh Jacobs are all stretching, getting ready. And 436 people watching, only 330 votes. I want everybody to go to the top and vote on the live poll. Who do we start in the next game? Do you want Josh Jacobs to remain the starter? Do we give Zamir White some run? What do you say? I want everybody to go up there, vote on the live poll. Who do we start next game as Killa Cruisin' comes in. He says, take a shot. That's one shot for Mitch. Shot counter is at 1. And looks like you're going to get away with it, Mitchell Renz. Looks like you're going to get away with it. Woo! Feel better?
I peed 2 boots. Definitely peed 2 boots, man. All right, Oscar Serrano, we're counting. That'll be it. Nothing after that. Nothing after that. Cheers to Oscar. Cheers to Killa Cruisin'. That's 2. All right, Raiders up 16-0 over New England. But guess what? They get the ball to start here in the second half. So I'm hoping can actually get a touchdown offensively here. So far, the only touchdown in today's game has been Robert Spillane, which good play by him. All right, return here by Trey Tucker. I don't know what's up with the Raiders players running directly at defenders in this game today, but hey, it is what it is. Here we go. Raiders up 16-0. If the Raiders score a touchdown on this drive, every $5 super chat we get, I'm doing a shot. Garoppolo, fake handoff, looks, throws, open, caught, Renfro, first down, Raiders. Somebody said a cheese whiz shot. Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't know if I can do the cheese whiz today, guys. That one would be pretty wicked. Yeah, I don't blame him. Fat Belichick is trying to figure out what exactly is going on in this game. Garoppolo, shotgun. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Handoff, Jacobs up the middle. He's going to get 4. Yep, second down and 6. 8 carries for 47 yards. Trey Scandrick, how about some Henny? I don't have any Henny actually here at the office. We have tequila. We do have tequila. Garoppolo, shotgun, bunches to the left here, and it looks like Renfro is the lone man. Oh, no, that was Mayer. Garoppolo throws. Or is that Hooper? That's Renfro. I'm losing my mind. It's so difficult at times to tell who's who. Well, nobody's the size that they are. Colton Miller is the smallest guy on the field. Guess what? He's not. He's not in real life. We got 464 people watching. If you haven't already, click that like button. Right now, Las Vegas up 16-0. Second half action here. New England entering today's game 2-3. The Raiders were 3-2. Under center, Jimmy G. I'll take that. Shot for a touchdown from Oscar. All right. Garoppolo throws quick. Shit. Down the field. Myers. First down, Raiders. The deal stands, just so y'all know. The deal stands until the Raiders, if the Raiders get to the red zone, then the deal's off. So you gotta be quick if you want it. 16-0. Get those ones going in the chat. Come on, Jacoby. Come on, Jacoby. Garoppolo. Oh, man, he's got one-on-one over there. However, I love that matchup right now for Adams. And it's going to be a run. Jacobs makes a guy miss. Oh, my goodness. Second down and 1. Beautiful run there by Jacobs. Oscar Serrano says, make it another, and let's go Raiders. Hell yeah, Oscar. Oscar right now, the last 3 Super Chats on today's Raiders Report stream. 3 in a row. It's impressive. Here we go. Garoppolo, second down and 1. 5 minutes and 17 seconds to go. Handoff. Jacobs, left side. All the way down to the 11. This will be your final opportunity to get those 5s in. I'll give you one more chance. Next play will be the last time you get an opportunity. I'm feeling confident, which maybe isn't good because anytime the Raiders get down in this position, Vedrak! All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 if they score a touchdown. That was the point. Garoppolo, first down and 10. Bunches to the right. He's going to drop back, looking, throws, end zone. He had him wide open. He just missed him. Wide open, Michael Mayer, back of the end zone. And I'm pretty sure hit Oscar Serrano in the front row. Steve Richardson, loving the Raiders report here in San Diego. All right, I'll count it. That's the last one, though. All right, PG, that's the last one. Second down and 10. Jimmy G looks, fires, throws, caught. Ball's on the ground. Fumble by Michael Mayer. Are you kidding me? He stays in bounds. Adams pushes him out. This Raiders team in the red zone. Are you shitting me? Mayer puts it on the turf, and now New England has an opportunity to score a touchdown. You just can't have that. That's a bad play there by the rookie. It's a mental breakdown. And now, this could be a one-possession game. Mac Jones throws, caught, Juju, and he's pushed out of bounds. Second down and 2. 7 of 13, 72 yards, 2 picks. That's freaking frustrating, man. I'm taking a shot or two. That's just embarrassing. Second down and 2. Can the Raiders defense save them again? Ramadre, he's going to get all up to about the 22. This is the most realistic game, I think, all year. Raiders have nothing going right now in the red zone. 16-0. New England shotgun. Bunches to the right. Raiders bring 4. Finds Juju. And he's going to go down. Second down and 4. Come on, D. Come on, defense. If you're New England, you score a touchdown, you go for 2, right? Yeah, okay. Second and 4. I'll be curious to see if they actually do it. Power I formation. We got 470 people watching. 1 to the right, 2 to the left. Jones, handoff. And he's going to get 2 yards there. Third down and 2.
It's a third down.
We got Mike El Loco, Venom. What up, Raider X? I see you, Sean. Get those threes going. Jones, under center, handoff. Up the middle, way too easy. Touchdown, Patriots. We got ourselves a ball game, in a game that has been dominated by the Raiders. We got ourselves a ball game here, 16-6. New England's got to go for 2. At least they would in real life. We'll see if they decide to go for it here in Madden. They got to go for it. It makes 0 sense for them to kick the extra point. Though they might look at it as the third quarter. All right, fair enough. This is realistic. I like it. 2-point try here, 16-6. Mac Jones drops back, looks, still looking. Crosby's going to get him. Oh, it's the pressure by Crosby. It's a great job by 98. And it's no good. So that's huge. 16-6. That was a 5-play, 34-yard drive. But that was set up because Michael Mayer, Butterfingers, couldn't hang on to it. I don't even know if he caught that football. I did want Mayer to start. And so did the nation. But you know what? I'm telling you this right now. You might have to put Hooper back in. Because if Michael Mayer were to make that type of... If that were to happen in real life, McDaniel would be like, hey, buddy, you're sitting next to me for the remainder of the game. We're going to put in Austin Hooper, who's been solid. They just wanted to give the young man, the rookie, some run. Speaking of rookies and running, Trey Tucker's up here, and he doesn't usually run very far on kickoff returns. Here we go. Can he get to the 20? Oh, no. Oh, why'd you do it? Oh, to the 22, Chuggs. He got all the way out to the 22. Okay. Jacobs today averaging 6.8 yards per carry. It's been a great game for him. Also, he's got over 30 yards receiving. Garoppolo, shotgun, 3 to the left. He's going to drop back. He's going to throw open, Renfro, and he gets all the way up to the 40-yard line. I need another score here to put me at ease. Need another score here to put me at ease. I don't want to get too conservative because that shot the Raiders last week. They still came away with a win, but, man, it was way too close to call. Oh, I like this question down below. Who's a better quarterback? Is it Jimmy Garoppolo or is it Mac Jones? For this season, I would rather have a Jimmy G over Mac Jones. I'm not the biggest Jones believer. However, if I'm going the next 5 years, obviously I'm going to go Mac Jones. Here we go. Handoff, middle, Jacobs, nowhere. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Like, Jimmy G doesn't have as much talent probably as Mac Jones. However, the mental part of the game, I do think you could say what you want about Garoppolo. I do think he's one of the most mentally tough quarterbacks in the NFL. Garoppolo under center, going to drop back. The Patriots bring a blitz. Jimmy G gets rid of it. Oh my gosh, I thought he was going to catch it. He had to get rid of it quickly. I don't mind Garoppolo throwing it up to Adams, the best receiver in the NFL. He's better than Justin Jefferson, despite what Madden ratings say. Just throwing it up there. Really wish that Adams could have brought that one down. However, this is when the Raiders struggle in that second half of games. Jimmy G, 3rd down and 8. Throwing, middle of the field, open. It's just too easy. It's just too easy when you got 17. Spam those 17s. Pretty sure Adams just punched Jalen Mills in the face. 4 for 82 today for number 17. Get him going. We got Robach, Sean, Nada, Venthrak, Robert Jansen, Tadashi. What up, Tadashi? Gerald Davis, Mike Nix. All spamming those 17s. And then Oscar Serrano, an absolute legend. 1st down and 10. Minute 4 remaining here in the 3rd quarter of action. Jacoby Myers doesn't look like he knows the play. The play should be Jacobs here. Should be a run. Nope. Garoppolo throws. It was to Jacoby. It's kind of funny. Before the snap there, he kind of like looked at Garoppolo. He's like, hey, pal, what's happening here? I don't know the play call. He's like saying, can you give it to me one more time? And Garoppolo goes, yeah, I'll give it to you one more time. Slant. 2nd down and 1. But here's going to be the biggest storyline of this game. The Raiders have been awful, and I mean awful, in the red zone. They have 1 turnover, 2 fumbles. Just can't have that and expect to win a football game. Handoff, Jacobs up the middle in the red zone. Makes a guy miss, and he's down now to the 12-yard line. Jacobs has been the best game of his, I'd say, season, though. I believe he had another game earlier on where he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Either way, 1st down and 10, ball at the 12. Nate Hobbs wants y'all to get loud. And I do. I want y'all to get loud right now in the chat. Spam those Raiders. Type some JJ. Show me some 8s. Raiders up 16-6 here in this game. 5, 3, 2, 1. They get it off in time. Jacobs, middle. Oh, and he's going to go down. 2nd down and 4. Coming up here, and that's going to do it. Get those 4s in the chat. I mean, it does look like Jacobs is going to get the start next week. He's having himself a hell of a game. Garoppolo under center, 2 receivers to the right. Jimmy G drops back, looking, still looking, throw it away. Jesus, thank you. 3rd down and 4. If he would have taken a sack there, I would have tried to flip this table. I mean, you have to get a touchdown. For the offense to not score a touchdown in this game and potentially get a win, that's insane to me. No, we're good. Garoppolo under center, bunches to the left. Jacobs, the running back. New England's going to bring some pressure. Flag. Hang on, I think this would have been a touchdown, but there is a flag on the field. Mayer, what are you doing? Oh, this looks like it might be on Jermaine. Holding on the offense. Jermaine! Oh, another costly penalty by Jermaine Illuminor. The one thing that we talked to him about is he needed to really limit those. That's frustrating, man. Garoppolo looking, still looking. Oh, my Lord, and just throws it out of bounds. You just can't make this up. Another Raiders red zone trip. Today they are 0 for 4 in the red zone. 0 for 4. Potentially you're going to have your third field goal and you got a fumble. If they win this game and it's this bad in the red zone, kick is up, kick is good. Carlson, I mean, I'll tell you what, you're lucky that your kicker made a 63-yarder earlier in this game, or it's a totally different game, because 6-13, Robert Pillane pick, I mean, it's just, yeah, that was, it was like a 70, what, is it in the red zone? 80-yard touchdown by Spillane. I mean, you had a Robert Spillane touchdown, and now 4 field goals by freaking Daniel Carlson, and one of them was a 63-yarder. Raiders offense has done a good job moving and getting in the red zone, but nothing to show for it. This should be a blowout of a game. This game should not be close, and instead, it's 13 points and an entire fourth quarter to go. Tyree Wilson, I can promise you, will not be playing in special teams. Makes the tackle. Here comes Mac Jones in the offense, though. Can the Raiders defense get a stop? Because I do feel like that last drive, they looked a little bit winded. And here we go. Mac Jones under center. He's going to drop back, rolls, throws down the field. Oh, my Lord. I thought he tipped it right into his hands. It's a good play there defensively. 2nd down and 10 coming up here today. Raiders have allowed 81 passing yards. They have 2 interceptions. We'll see what ends up happening here. Super Chat rolling in from LA Crash Dog. What's up, nation? Headed to work and enjoying my commute from Long Beach to Bel Air. Thanks for all that you do. Let's go Raiders. Raider Nation for life. Real one for life. Semper Fi. Pass going to fall incomplete. Jones, 8 of 16, 2 interceptions in today's game. If you haven't already, click that like button. And I know that some of these Madden simulations might be a little bit weird, but hey, it's the middle of July. I like hanging out with the nation. I like making content. And hopefully you guys enjoy watching it, right? All right, 19-6. Get those threes in the chat. It's 3rd down and 10. This is the biggest 3rd down of the entire game here. Raiders are going to bring 4. And I mean, Tyree Wilson's getting held all day. Get the stop. Get the stop. They did. That's the bend but don't break. The question is, will New England go for it here? 4th and 1, you're down 13. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts. Spillane might be the defensive MVP in this one. Pick 6, 6 tackles, leading the team in tackles, and that huge interception. But, I mean, this play right here, I don't love how soft of coverage that the Raiders were playing. I would have liked Spillane to be a little bit closer to that 1st down, but we'll see. What's New England going to do here? Looks like the offense might remain on the field. Are they going to go for it? Are they going to kick? Type G for go for it, type K for kick, and they are going to go for it. Ball at the 29-yard line. Mac Jones under center. It's going to be a fullback dive, and he gets it easily. That's why you need those big guys up front. New England just bullies them around, gets it on 4th down and 1. And a little extracurriculars after the game between Tyree Wilson and Trent Brown. Type those FTBs. Better pass rusher, Max Crosby or Judon. Come on. Nothing but 98s in the chat. Nothing but 98s in the chat. We got over 500 people watching. 19-6, Raiders up over the New England Patriots here in our Madden Sim. 6 minutes, 25 seconds to go. New England has all 3 of their timeouts. What up, zone? Mac Jones, handoff. And it's going to be a gain of about 4. Ty Montgomery. Oh, man, Spillane, again, kind of in on the action there. He's been all over the football field today. This has been a great defensive game by Las Vegas. It's just, this one should not be close. This game should not be close, and yet here we are. It's a 13-point game. 5 minutes, 52 seconds to go. Jones, shotgun, 2nd down and 6. Raiders unable to get any pressure on him again. There is a flag on it. Are they finally going to call holding? Because I feel like Tyree Wilson's been getting mugged the entire game by Trent Brown. Holding. It's about damn time. That one's going to go against Riley Reef, the right tackle, which probably means that one was against Max Crosby. 2nd down and 16 coming up here. Jones throws, middle of the field, caught, wide open. Just not good coverage there. 1st down, Juju Smith-Schuster, and it's a big, big 1st down. I mean, I forgot Gesicki was on the Patriots. I saw his name pop up, and I was like, oh, shit. That's kind of wild. 1st down and 10 for New England. Come on, defense. Let's go. Get the D's going in the chat. Yeah, Neil Farrell Jr., big body. Looks like they also got Bilal Nichols out there next to Tyree Wilson. Mac Jones going to drop back. He's looking. He's going to throw left short. Caught Devontae Parker. Tackle made by Divine Diablo. And New England is continuing to march down the field here. Continuing to march down the field. Fat Belichick feeling pretty damn good about his offense right now. Raiders got to get a stop. Both defenses have been great once it's been the real time to step it up. New England's defense has been incredible in this game. But I'm kind of with Venthrak here. New England's taking up a lot of time, and they don't have a lot of time to give up. Mac Jones under center. It's going to be a handoff, Stevenson, and that's going nowhere. Tackle made by Divine Diablo. 2nd down and 7 coming up here. Come on, defense. Let's go. Come on. What do you say? I mean, we do need a turnover. We just got to slow them down. I just got to get stops here. If they get, they're in 4-down territory from here on out. So you got to get stops. Here we go. Jones looking, throws, open again. The Raiders' defense is too soft. Patrick Graham needs to figure it out here. If you're just going to let them dink and dunk their way all the way up into the field, we're going to have ourselves a one-score game, which the Raiders cannot afford to have right now. Come on, Las Vegas. None of this dink and dunk. Let's play the defense that we've been playing the entire game. The defense that got you to this point in the first place. Let's go. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter of action. Are you nervous? I am. And it's Madden. Ball to 31. Jones under center. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Raiders look like they're going to show some pressure. And come on, got to get the stop. Divine's first person to make contact. Crosby cleans it up. But, man, this drive is taking some time. But then again, it's Madden. New England has all 3 of their timeouts and the 2-minute warning. As long as the Raiders don't give up a touchdown before the 2-minute warning, I'm hoping that means that they're going to be okay. Jones, shotgun. 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go here. Empty backfield. And he's going to have another very clean pocket. Throws. Oh, great play. Nate Hobbs showing why he's their cornerback 1. Able to break that one up. I thought it was going to be caught. He actually looked like he had possession for a second. Hobbs able to just get it out. Incomplete. 3rd down and 7.
It's 3rd down.
Raiders showing that they might bring some heat here, and they do. Oh, it's a screen, though. It's read perfectly. What a great job there by Bilal Nichols reading that screen. Even Robert Spillane. Really, really good stuff there by the Raiders defense. The Raiders knew that was coming because what would McDaniels do on 3rd and 7? Throw a screen. Read it perfectly. Here we go. 4th down and 10. This is a huge, huge play here for Las Vegas. It's an empty backfield for Mac Jones. Raiders looking like they're going to bring 4, and they do. Oh, no. Deep down the field. Jones not even close, and it's incomplete. Good thing Mac Jones is booty cheeks. And you know what? That's a turnover on down, and I'm going to put on the turnover chain. That's big. I don't know who that was to. I can't even believe Mac Jones would make that throw. That was bad. All right, now if you're the Raiders, you're just running here, right? And you're just going to try to run this clock out, make New England use all their timeouts. Jimmy G, ball at the 31. Jacobs, the running back, handoff goes to him. And he's going to plow forward. Make sure you hang on to that rock, Jacobs. He's got 14 for 92. Will Jacobs cross the century mark? We're going to have to see. He needs 8 yards. I'll tell you this right now. If they don't let this run down to the 2-minute warning, I'm going to be pissed. Okay. They look like they were hurrying it up here a little bit. So now, New England's got all 3 of their timeouts. You pick up a first down, the game's over, you win. Keep running the rock here. Keep running the rock. 2nd down and 6. Jacobs, the running back. Handoff. It's read pretty well there. Jacobs still able to pick up 1. New England's going to use a timeout. They have 2 remaining. 2 timeouts remaining here for New England. Raiders up 19-6. And I've watched enough Raiders games in my lifetime to know that this ain't over. It ain't over until it's over. 3rd and 5. Jacobs, the running back, again. Jimmy G. Oh, my God, they're going to throw it? And he takes a shot deep, and it's not even close. What is that play call by McDaniels? How can you, with Josh Jacobs as your running back, not run that ball and make them burn another timeout? Because now they're going to get the ball back. You got 2 timeouts remaining. Having 2 timeouts compared to 1, that's a huge difference in this type of game where technically, not even technically, if they give up 2 touchdowns here, and it goes for nothing. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm not worried about a special teams touchdown in this game. Special teams is the worst in this game, man. All right, here we go. Raiders defense coming back out onto the field. 1:42 to go, and the Patriots have 2 timeouts. They have plenty of time here to score. I just can't believe that they didn't run the ball there on that last play. Flag down, that's got to be a holding. Tyree Wilson's getting mugged. Throw the flag. Throw the flag. Holding. That's got to be on Trent Brown. Yep. Oh, no, it's on Riley Reif again. You can't believe it. 1st down and 20. Big penalty. That's just the Max Crosby impact right there for you. Here we go. Raiders bring some pressure. It's a screen. The perfect time to throw a screen. But you know what? Great read there by Trevon Merrick. Great read there by Nate Hobbs. Put their feet in the dirt. And even though they gave up 8 yards, like Chuggs, he's saying in my ear, tick, tick, tick. Really dumb play there, honestly, by Ty Montgomery to not get out of bounds. Choco Bear. Who's the worst play caller? Video game McDaniels or real McDaniels? That's that one might be a coin flip there. Throws caught Devontae. I would imagine they're going to use a timeout here. No, they're not. And the clock's going to continue to go. Under a minute. Patriots down 19-6. Parker today, 4 catches for 58 yards. The clock continues to tick. I mean, I don't know what New England is doing here. No huddle, even though it just showed they're in a huddle. Ball to 46. Mac Jones going to drop back. He's going to look. Throw short. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, they're not going to use the timeout. I don't think that they are. 2nd down and 8. I mean, okay. And now they use the timeout? Yeah, that's really bad clock management there by Fat Belichick. I don't think he knows what he's doing. Is he on the hot seat? I mean, honestly, that's also Mac Jones being a young and inexperienced quarterback to even throw that ball. Like you don't complete that ball there. You got to roll out. If that's your first read, you roll out of the pocket because you're better off just throwing that out of bounds instead of picking up 2 yards. It's a dumb play call. Oscar, they just won without an offensive touchdown. Maybe. It ain't over yet, Oscar. I've watched too many Raiders games, man. Mac Jones pressured by Crosby, throws, and it's picked off. And that's going to do it. Trevon Merrick, interception, the 3rd of the game, and it's unbelievable. The Raiders get the win. No defensive touchdowns. 0 for 4 in the red zone. Shout out to the Raiders defense, man. Raiders 3 picks today, 3 interceptions last year. I mean, this Raiders defense right now has been probably better than the Raiders offense in Madden simulation so far. Something to consider. Type those INTs. Let's go to Venthrak. Fat Belichick. Gonna need a heaping plate of pork nachos to cap with this loss.
Can
Not going to lie, it sounds pretty good.
Can you ask my date to not eat all the good chips? She's been eating all of the good chips from my nachos, and leaving me with the ones with less cheese and meat. She's eating all the ones that have tons of meat and cheese and toppings.
Your date.
Yeah. She's been she's been eating all the good nacho chips.
I got you. I'll put in a good word. I'll see what I can do. And here comes the victory formation. Get some of those just one babies in the chat. JWBs. And the Las Vegas Raiders are going to take home another victory. We are 4-2 in the Madden simulation. I'll tell you this right now. If we're 4-2 in real life, dude, I'm feeling really good, man. Feeling really good. Raiders get a big win. The defense steps up. What up, Lowell? Did the Pats throw the only offensive touchdown? Yes. And they have 6 points. This is a weird game. But I could see a game like this actually happening. Both sides know each other very well. Both sides know the quarterback play. Both teams can design solid defenses. But hey, the Raiders come away with a big-time victory, 19-6 over the Patriots, and now move to 4-2 during our Madden simulation season. Just one babies in the chat. Get them going. The next game that you're going to see here on the Raiders Report is going to be Thursday, Week 7, against the Chicago Bears. And if you're looking for more Raiders videos all year long, and it's 100% for free, click that red subscribe button. Turn on those notifications, because the next time that you're going to see Jeremy Chuggs and I, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, no, that's cap, 4 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to be breaking down all the latest around the Raiders. Week 7 game against Chicago Bears. We hope that you all had a great, great show. And from Jeremy Chuggs and I, we're now going to get ready to head on out of here. This video will not go to loop, so please keep that in mind. So from myself, from my co-host Jeremy Chuggs, we hope that you all have a great, great night. Enjoy your Tuesday, and we'll see you again live here Thursday on the Raiders Report.